my goodness.
Wow.
He might call.
Wow.
Oh, he folded.
Welcome, everyone. We're here for a big day. This is a massive tournament. We got my man Seth Davies alongside myself. Can't wait to call this action. Jeff Gross here. We are going to take it to a new level, 1.8 million plus the first set. I know you play for the biggest tournaments in the world live, but I'll tell you what, for online, this is a juiced up prize pool. Not every day you get to play for this amount of money. Top three going to get $1 million plus. And a look at Seth's resume there, 32 million in live earnings. Basically, my total earnings is his largest cash. Kind of crazy. All-time money list 24th, number one in Oregon, and a man that travels the world, going to be at the Triton Jeju. We're going to talk to him during the show, as well as get to pick on his knowledge for the game. So Seth, thank you for being here. Appreciate the time. Tell me what's new, man. What's going on?
Thanks, dude. Glad to be here. I'm just kind of enjoying some time, getting ready to prep for this Jeju trip. The stakes are going to be gigantic, so trying to bring my A game to that.
I love it. Well, some of these guys I'm sure you've played with. Some of them you will play with again in Jeju, maybe for the first time. Of course, a lot of money at stake today. We're going to get to take a look at all the players at the final table today. But first, we're going to go ahead and look at some of the action in terms of the winning hand. Mr. Barack Wisbrod. Have you played with Barack before? I know he was at the Paradise there, 50K, plays a lot of high stakes in the world. Have you played a bunch with him, or how much experience with Barack?
Yeah, I got a good bit of experience with Barack. He's a great player, has a good high stakes cash background. Cool guy too. I'm a big fan of him. That's cool that he won.
Yeah, he did. And let's take a look at that hand. This is the winning hand from the last show. Of course, we were off last week, as this is a double week special GGMillion prize pool, and we get to see his winning hand. Ace-4 to King Deuce. Always nice to get it in. Ren Lin there. Tony, Lady Gaga gets it in. It hits the deuce. Not quite enough, as the turn is clean and the Ace-4 holding all the way to the river there. That was the last hand. Blinds were big. Was quite a battle. Barack does take it down, gets another title to his resume, and that was a juiced up prize pool. But today is a super, super big one. This is, again, one of the biggest that I've ever seen during the WSOP bracelet events. Some of them are huge. This is, right up there. One of the top ones that I've done over 100, and this is an exciting one. So let's go ahead and look at the all-time list here on the all-time ranking. We can see two players joining us from this, Oli Shemian and Pablo Silva. How much experience do you have with those two?
I mean, pretty much everybody on this list I've played poker with for up to, 10, 15 years. A lot of real killers on there. You can see Juan Pardo Dominguez in second there, the guy who I played my biggest heads-up match against. Artur, David Yan, Ponikovs, all these guys, a bunch of great players.
Yeah, that's something that is what GG Millions bring you, the best of the best. This is, again, some of the most well-known names live as well as online. You can see the titles for Arts are just insane, 11. Seeing if we can add on that to Ole and Pablo, both with impressive resumes as well, trying to keep climbing the ladder. But let's go ahead and now look at the current season. And as I mentioned before, we're going to have two parts to this 2025. Season 1 is currently going. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 titles out awarded so far. This will be the 5th, as we had a break, and this is a double. So this is a kind of look at what happened. Brock does shoot up to the most earnings, and he has had 2 final tables with the title. And again, another impressive names and players that most of you at home will know who those guys are. And Seth, I'm sure you've, again, battled with the majority, if not all, of these players at some point. So, all right, let's dive in, though. Let's look at the final 9. We're going to go ahead and break it down here with the prize pool. This is 1.8 million at first. I mean, Seth, we used to play. You played online poker back in the day. Can you imagine playing on a Tuesday for 1.8 million online? This looks like the Triton payouts here for like the main. Tell me what stands out with this payout structure.
I mean, just massive numbers, right? Like when I was coming up as a full-time online player, it was pretty rare you'd see any tournaments with 200K to win, let alone 200K as the minimum guaranteed to ninth. So this is sick. I mean, gigantic tournament. It's going to be fun to sweat.
And that is correct. This is, again, 214 guaranteed. So this is a much different payout structure. The 7th place is normally around what first is in today. So this is really exciting. And there is, again, no deal making. We're playing to a winner. We're going to get to see the seat shuffle as well at the end here. Once we come back from the break, that'll be at the end. You get to kind of jockey for who has position. The top stack gets to pick last. We'll get to talk to Seth about a little strategy on that. But now let's dive in to the players. Let's see at the 9 who we got to deal with. We are going to get to see the top 3. We'll see a hand from Sunday from them, but from the 9 here, uncapped, the player, again, the username, so we're not as familiar who that might be. 7 big blinds, pretty short stack, and the highest finished ever, 10th. So pretty cool appearance wise. comes to the big one, makes a final table here in the second appearance and took 10th. So just bubbled that final table four, seems to know what they're doing. And we will get to see that player today off 7 big blinds. Any strategy, Seth, in this kind of tournament? You know, is there anything you can do when you're that short?
Yeah, I mean, when you're this short, you kind of just want to use your stack as a weapon, and you know, you leverage other big stacks by just getting all in a lot. It's kind of simple, but that's all you got to do.
For sure. Well, it also matters how the other short stacks are, right? Are you 7 and the next is 18 blinds, or is it close? So let's take a look at our 8th place stack here, how that kind of shapes up. So 15. So again, 7 under half of this. So again, a lot of work to do, a lot to see. And this is the first appearance as well. Pretty cool. Highest finish 115. So don't stop believing. Is in an interesting spot to believe in a magical day. Of course, a good score no matter what, getting over 20 buy-ins, but looking for that unicorn sort of 7-figure land, score top 3 on the podium, will be getting over $1 million. So again, not much to say here. GG though, you can see the experience, 4.3 million in earnings, not someone who just hasn't played the GGMillions 10K before. So again, knows how to play poker, 15 blinds, enough to work with. Let's go to our 7th place stack and see if we have any information that Seth or I know. And this is again a username, that flag Austria. Seth, I think you can agree, one of the tougher countries, sort of that German Austria online group, a lot of professionals moving from Germany there. And again, GGMillion earnings, not many experiences, has cash for 50K out of 12 appearances. So was losing that in the GGMillions, now at least guaranteed winning, as going to lock up over 200K, 12 appearances, and 820K in GG earnings. And assuming you haven't played online, right, for a while, Seth, you played on GG, but not for years. And does this username ring a bell, or unlikely, right? Doesn't ring a bell for me.
Don't know this one. I mean, so many good young guys coming up. It could be anybody.
Exactly. All right. So kind of a mystery wild card today is Obstriak. Let's go to our next player and see what's happening here. This guy, I mean, we could spend probably the whole pregame talking about his resume, accolades. I actually just was playing with him in the Bahamas, and 17 million in GG earnings, 6.3 of those coming from the GGMillion. And this is just an insane resume. 150 appearances. That's 3 years of Sundays that has showed up for this tournament. 28 final tables, 6 of those wins, and we did see him on the all-time list to start. Give me a little bit of what's the superpower for Ole? What makes him so tough and performing live and online at the highest level?
Huge battler, you know, not a guy who's not afraid of anything. I've been playing against Ole since like 2010, 2011, when we were mass tabling leaderboard guys. So long history with him.
Yeah, he is capable. He is willing. 31 big blinds, plenty to play with, although kind of on the shorter stack, but still plenty. 30 blinds at any final table is plenty to work with, and we know he knows how to do that. It's got a lot of badges up there on his profile. Again, the Austria flag, hailing from Germany, and a very, very tough player. So let's go to our next opponent. The next player today is Roman Rabeck, who is also been on a heater. His live earnings very impressive, has won some major stuff at Triton, I think a $4 million score not too long ago, and has also been just showing up in every which way, live, online, doing well. 2 wins here, almost 100 appearances, and a very impressive resume there, 14 million on GG. Tell me about Roman, how often you battle, what are something he does really well?
Yeah, another fearless guy, another guy who works really hard to win pots, and it shows up. You know, he's had huge results in the live tour the last couple of years, so definitely a guy to look to play some fun hands.
Yeah, he is again not afraid, and just seems to kind of just show up, right? You put yourself in good opportunities, get deep, make final tables, good things happen. He has shown us that now and again, and very often. 41 big blinds today, plenty of chips to play with. Let's take a look at the next player at this final table. Pedro Neves, someone again we saw him take down a tournament. You can see that he also did win the WSOP 2024 number 38 for $1 million. So again, not only just winning GGMillion, winning a bracelet online, he has 58 big blinds. Doesn't play the GGMillion quite as much, but still experienced 44 of those. And how about Pedro? How much time have you got to play with him live?
Yes, I haven't played a ton with him. I'm from Portugal, I believe. I'm pretty sure he's Portuguese, so yeah, that's probably why he's not playing so many of these tournaments as some of the other guys. But yeah, great player, obviously great results, and we'll see how it goes today.
Yeah, he is in the position pretty healthy, 58 big blinds, kind of one of those spots where it's a little tricky to play. You get a lot of pressure can get put on you. You also kind of want to assert yourself and make a move for it, but you know that the ICM is so much value if you can at least kind of hold on to your position and see some of the people go out early. But again, he knows how to play, not afraid. We'll see how he is able to maneuver today as one of the sort of upper middling stacks. All right, let's look at the next opponent, the next player today. This man, Pablo Silva, the Brazilian, all the Brazilians out there. I got my 700-day Duolingo streak going. I'm ready to talk to you guys. I'm ready to feel the energy. Brazil always brings the heat. My wife's Brazilian. Love Brazil. Love Pablo's game. Tell me about Pablo. How tough is he?
Really tough player. Again, another guy goes way back with, that I go way back with. He's been, has all the experience in the world. Great presence at the live table too. So he's a guy who, he's a force.
Yeah, he is a very, very tough player. I think this is a guy that just you always have to respect, that can finish at any time. He knows where he's at. He knows, kind of one of those guys, you look at it, he'll, in my mind, I'm like, oh, he'll do this. Is he going to raise? Is he going to do this, is he going to do that? And he finds an even outside the box choice or something, puts you in a really tough position. So again, the GGMillion all-time money list, he was on that leaderboard, number 9, looking to shoot that up. There's a lot to play for, a lot of money up for grabs to really shuffle that list up and sort of move him onto the all-time list even higher. And again, a lot of appearances, over 3 years of appearances, 54 cashes, 31 final tables, 3 wins. Hard to win, hard to actually win. He's here with a good shot today, some of the more experienced player at the final table. Let's go and go ahead and take a look. I think we get to see, he's in the top 3. So that means we get to see a hand, ace-10 suited. You can see the blinds, 100K, 200K, fairly far along in this tournament. And he has a good stack, pretty standard min raise. Let's see how this one plays out. See if Seth can kind of talk us through as we see the Austriac, who also made the final table, be Binder, who he knows at the final table. So this is definitely deep in the tournament, 100K, 200K level. And we are going to have a mystery hand. I guess all the 3 will be, as we don't see the cards of the other players. And this guy's got 13 blinds, calls, Jack, 4 rainbow, all different suit here, and checked over. I would assume a small C-bet. Seth, is that pretty standard?
Yep, just min C-bet on the paired board. It's going to be how this goes most of the time.
And Daniel now with a decision. We again don't know his whole cards, but we get to see kind of what plays out here for Pablo. He doesn't really, okay, that's a fairly nice turn. You lose to the Jack, of course. You have now the top pair on the 10 with a paired board. So again, got to feel pretty good. SPR about 1, a little less than 1, 1.4, a little more than 1, I guess, 2 million to 1.4. What do you like here from Pablo?
Yeah, so I'm down with either option here. Yeah, I think checking's pretty sweet here. The other guy's going to have mostly unpaired cards, right? If he has a 4, he's most likely just going to check raise, get it on the flop. So yeah, just like slow playing and trying to get value on the river. Maybe the guy has ace-5 and river's a 5 or something like that, or maybe your hero calls you. So I think this is a good sneaky check.
Yeah, so the flush does come in. There was check on the turn, sort of unlikely. Pablo would you would think if he had hearts would be barreling there maybe or putting pressure potentially, although it is pretty short, the SPR. So now with this 3 of hearts on the river, size-wise, he goes for half pot. Tell me about that. What are you targeting here, and what is the how do you like that bet size?
Yeah, I mean, this is good. He's just trying to get, say king 5 of diamonds to fold some kind of bad backdoor high card type hand. So yeah, he's not gonna have a ton of bluffs, so he kind of gets a cheap size when he does have, say, 8-9 suited or something like that. So yeah, I like this from Pablo.
Wow. Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, I'm just calling.
You're calling here?
Yeah, no shot I'm folding here. I think if you're folding a hand this strong, we got to remember we started this hand with 13 big blinds. So if you start doing things like folding hands this strong in this line, you're just going to be way over folding. So
I agree with you completely. I'm just a little bit shocked to see ace-3, for example, that shove seems crazy. I mean, what is he? Is he what do you think on that? Because it's it's are you getting a better, if you're not getting a 10 to fold or a jack or obviously a flush, but unlikely has a flush as play, but that just seems a bit out of pocket, right? To what is that shove? What are you targeting when you make that check raise shove? What with ace-3? What is your intention there? Is that for value or what is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing I said is honestly, I think you might be able to beat a value bet with ace-3. I don't think it's crazy for Pablo to value bet ace-king, ace-queen in this situation. He the other the big blind, Daniel, I believe his name is, he should just have ace high super often. So I don't see why
Yeah.
Pablo can't value bet ace king here. So
Wow.
yeah, I would have just been very happy to call that bet.
But okay, from the perspective of the ace three check raise all in though, with that being said, ace king, ace queen, maybe value betting, do you think that then ace three would just be a nice handed bluff catch? You like, do you accomplish much by shoving there? That's my question. What are you getting to call you that's worse? I guess maybe you're right. Maybe is that right? Ace king could call potentially, but like, is that seems a little greedy to check raise there? Maybe just call and keep
Yeah,
your
I mean, it's definitely a bluff. Like he's definitely bluffing. I would imagine he's putting Pablo on like a pocket eights, pocket sevens type hand to try to get him to fold it off. But yeah, I mean, I think if you're gonna bluff here, you use a worse hand and particularly one with a heart in it. Like you definitely want to block Pablo's flushes when you're bluffing. And I don't think Daniel had a heart. I think he had a spade and a club. So yeah, this is just I would have been very happy to call.
Okay, well there you go. Pablo aligned with Seth. That makes sense. I would say I like the hand other than the ace three check shove on the river. I could see maybe calling. I just like yeah that makes sense, but I don't know about shoving in there. I just don't. I think you're asking a lot to get a better hand to fold. That would bet as play. But again, listen, I'm in the booth here. Seth is the guest. He could certainly be in the mix on these. These are big tournaments, big online, as big as it gets today, and we're going to get to see another hand for the second place stack as well as a resume. Let's take a look here as Martin Finger, a guy I've played so much with. I remember back in the day, I used to play, right when the high rollers came out, 2013, 2014. He actually knocked me out of my chair a couple times in some big spots in the hands. I still scratch my head where I just like couldn't believe what happened, or he just had aces and I'd have queens and be deep, and he just seems to have it. He's aggressive. He three bets light. Again, we're talking about a long time ago. This is 10 years ago, but I just played with him on the original high rollers, one of those guys, part of the crew. He was there from day one playing the biggest tournaments in the world. I think he took a little bit of a break or wasn't playing as much, but I have seen him a little more in the last year or two. And tell me about Martin, as he hasn't played as many. You can see 13 appearances in the GGMillion. How well do you know him and his game?
So his background is awesome. He was a heads up sit and go player back in the day, played a lot of high stakes. Less of a MTT guy. He played MTTs too, but he's zero piggy bank on stars, one of the classic like high stakes heads up sit and go pros. So yeah, really cool background for him. But like you said, those type of guys are very aggressive, very kind of streets. So he was always one of those guys, and he's a very impressive player.
Yeah, I just remember in particular, it was like one of the first 50Ks I played ever. It was like 2013, and I just remember him like three betting me light with some trash hand, and then I had ace queen, and he ended up stacking me, and then I rebought, and then like deep in it I had queens, and this time he had aces. It just kind of seems to always like that. What I mean? It's just like he's that guy. Just kind of he's light sometimes, gets you to bite, and then he also just shows up when the money goes all in. He has it as well. So he's just seems tough, and he's been doing it for so long. Great player, and as you mentioned, that heads up prowess, that experience is valuable, right? That's one of those things in poker. I'm sure, Seth, with the money being up top, it's like a lot of people would be surprisingly don't spend a ton of time playing heads up or studying or doing that, when really that's where the lion's share of the money is when you get those chances. So today he's in second, and again, he gets up. If he can get down to heads up, and whether you're a chip leader in that scenario or short, having heads up experience does matter, and it is something we may come into play today. You can see he's got a win off of just 2 final tables, taking it down, and again, a impressive resume live and then as well as online. And he did win a bracelet, it looks like online, with a 500K score in the 3K. So let's see a hand from Sunday from Martin. Let's see how he plays this. Speaking of eights, you were just saying maybe get off eights in this hand, and D. Smilovich, who is a guy, very tough player, didn't make the final table. And look at that stack down this stretch of the tournament. Pretty crazy, that 14.4 million, and didn't make to the final as he was massive chip leader. And this must have been with either 3 tables left or 2, maybe 3, because it was 8160 and shorthanded, say 3 or 4 tables, probably 3 left here at this point. But here's 2 eights, and maybe this is a first chink in the armor on Smilovich's downfall, because we do see he had a ton of chips and did not make the final. So let's see what happens here. No, but he does fold and button with the eights, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, sounds like Smilovich probably lost a bunch of big pots to Martin here, and that's why Martin's got 25 million now.
Yeah, that would be. I'm actually, again, highlight hand. We don't know what we're going to get to see here, but I'm a little surprised we didn't see one of those big pots from that, because that is exactly, that must have been what happened and how he got so much. And Smilovich did not make the final table. King 6-4 rainbow eights, button versus big blind. Eights got to feel decently confident.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty good flop for him. He can bet It's a board where he will check fairly often. King high does check a lot in this situation, but betting is the more standard for this hand.
Yeah, both repping that Austrian flag, both I believe from Germany originally, and both with again a lot of experience against each other. Just no question they've played and know each other's games very well. And as it plays, it is a bet and a call and a turn 9 of clubs, kind of 9 of brick on the turn, although it isn't over to the 8.
Yeah, not a card that Ole should have a lot, so I would like to see a bet most of the time here from Martin. I think his hand's just still very good, and it's a board where he wants to be betting a ton, so just got to go wide for value.
He does check back. I agree. Definitely could, right? You could do that, make it a 2-street hand as played, the king on the river. This is a pretty fantastic card and maybe a chance where he can bet bigger and try to get against.
That's one of the main reasons why I would want to continue betting the turn is because now you can just get all in and get called by worst hand a lot. I would definitely be raising this bet. Maybe something like 2 million. I would probably make it 2 million on the river, so.
Yeah, I mean, that does seem like
a passive route, but I think, which is, there's final table pressure involved, so I can see what he's doing here, but I think his hand's a little too strong to not make that pot a little bigger.
Yeah, I agree on that particular run out with the king pairing too. That just seems like a phenomenal spot. At the same time, it's an important pot, and he does get to get a winner there and not have to, risk additional chips. So again, we see a bit of insight into Martin's game and how he does play, and he does pick up a nice pot, and he is in second at the time. You can see there's a lot of work to do, but he did continue to chip up, and that is a hand from, again, Sunday, one of the highlight hands. And now let's go over to our chip leader. Always nice to be in the chip lead in these type of spots as we see B Binder. Is this another, is that Poland? Which flag is that?
That's Austria, right?
Is it Austria? Is it the same as the other ones? I thought maybe it is, right? 3 Austrian. I'd say this almost without fail. I need to get the actual stats, but Brazil and Austria representation each week. It's almost every week. I don't know if I think Austria's been there 98% of the time. Brazil's 97%, but we are seeing a Brazilian today, and we are seeing multiple Austria flags for sure. And B Binder, here we go. This is a guy who has not won. He has 92 big blinds, 27 million. GGMillion's very little experience, only 1 cash prior. And you can see on GG, though, 2.5 million earnings. So knows how to play, a guy that knows how to win and get it done. But in GGMillion's not having a ton of experience. Let's take a look at a hand from the Sunday for our chip leader. And again, we get to see with a big stack, 14 million at the 150, 300 level. I believe this must be 2 tables, right? This would be with the final 2 tables, big stacks everywhere, 300K level, Jack 10 suited, chip leader, middle position. You can't ask for more. Folds to you. I'm sure he's gonna be playing. Let's see if it was a fold to him. I can't imagine that he would flat otherwise. Okay, so min raise, straightforward. There's Roman as well. Yeah, you're right. That's the Austrian flag. Lucas there with the Austrian flag as well, and Roman there. Is that who would you put in your Mount Rushmore or your podium? I should say top of the countries that are like, you feel online when you see a flag, you're just like, all right, they probably are a pretty good player. Who do you put in that category? Who would you give sort of at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, Austria's got to be up there just because basically everybody in Europe ends up moving to Austria, right? Because like they all move there it's a good tax haven or whatever. So these guys could be from anywhere. B Binder could be from France. He could be from Germany. Yeah. He could be from Portugal. So yeah, if they got that Austria flag, you're pretty safe in assuming they're a good professional.
Yep. Yeah, that's about right. Well, here we go. Austria, at least in terms of flag representation, going on the Jack 10 suit. Interesting hand, backdoor diamonds, Jack high, deep stack, 2 of the biggest stacks here. What do you like to also a board that maybe the big blind has a bit more favor, although B Binder's going to open wide with his stack too. So talk to me about the flop there.
I would have bet just because with the pressure on Lucas here in the big blind of not defend so wide, he's going to have fewer of the offsuit 5x type hands. So I would just see bet kind of continue applying that pressure to him for a cheap size on the flop. Even though, again, it's not a great size for the opener, or not a great board for the opener, I should say.
Well, the all of a sudden 1.2. So now a big bet. He actually turns the equity that he wants. He turns the diamond, but he's facing a large bet on a paired board out of position. He is going to call, and he is going to hit the river here, making the jack high flush. Paired board in position. Let's see how Lucas proceeds. Got to feel good if you're binder, although you do lose to some hands depending on the size. May just call, or check two, or small bet could raise. Let's see what he goes with. And okay, check. Now tell me, you got to feel you're going for value at this point. The runner flush.
Yeah, you got to go small too, which is kind of the unfortunate part because it's really hard to have a bluff here. So I would bet like half pot or something. It's just because you don't want to take like ace king with a diamond and bluff with it. So you kind of just go small, and then you have like, you know, 8-9 suited, maybe a 6-8 suited type hand to bluff with. So I think you bet a little big, but looks like if the guy calls here, probably just kind of coolered him. Maybe the guy has like ace-5 or something and didn't want to fold. So
yeah, or somehow maybe straight could have like 4-6 suited, or some type of straight ace-4.
Yeah, maybe even a worse flush. But yeah, this is a situation where it is so likely that B binder has a flush here. So whenever you size up, you kind of give him a cheap
wow. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. Wait, to go pot and get shoved on here.
This is a way to battle, you know, like Lucas is saying, I got a boat. Call me with the flush if you want.
Yeah. What does Lucas do with ace-4 diamonds or king-8 of diamonds here? Does he go for this as played though, with the bigger flush?
I wouldn't with the king high. I would with the ace high for sure. Like king high, just because the opener is opening.
Yeah.
A lot of ace high suited hands or suited ace high hands. I would just be like not ready to get stacked with.
Wow.
There it was. There was the bluff.
I was gonna say, I guess he's calling right and good because we know he's the chip leader, and that's for all the sherbert. Look at Lucas, man. Tell me what that takes, though. Let's talk about that. Is ball, like, literally, man. You to go for that. That is crazy. You start the hand with 12 million. You're thinking about Vegas, the Mirage, although that has imploded. Now you're in a great spot, right? Like, you're literally 2 tables. You're thinking about 1.8 million. I mean, is that a punt? Or are you like, man, respect, note that, like, this guy's that's a wild play. Like, that seems like, I mean, again, I'm a disclaimer, I'm never making that move ever. Like, that seems crazy. Talk to me about that.
Mad respect for him. I think that was a really solid play. He doesn't need a diamond in this situation. He's basically trying to get binder to fold a flush. So a diamond, maybe the ace of diamonds, but like whatever, that's not a big deal. I think this is a pretty ballsy play, and props to him. I mean, ballsy call by binder too.
Is there a world for binder folding? Like, because that doesn't seem like a simple call either. You're losing to ace high flush, like you said. Maybe a king or queen won't raise you. You lose to boats. As played, there are definitely, right. He could have threes. He could have, 5-7 suited, whatever. There is a bunch of boats there, and as played with the big blind. So yeah, tell me about the call there. But impressive hand. Definitely a crazy hand.
Out of both of them, yeah. I mean, if I was binder, I would have folded the river. Like that's just a tough call he's making there. The guy absolutely has a bunch of better hands, and this guy just risked it all when he was second in chips on this huge situation. So
unreal. What a hand to take us. All right, with that being said, we're going to take that to the betting odds. Let's take a look at as the chips lay. The B binder, that must have been, man, what's about the stack he had. So then taking it down from there, he maintained his stacks, ended with 27, Martin with 23. Martin, what a heater he's on from that position, right? We saw just him with like 4 million, ends with 24, with must have been 3 tables left. But all right, I'm going to let you pick first. 3 players each. Who do you got? Who's your first pick? 100 units total. Break it up. We can put a dinner on it. Nice dinner.
I'm going even 33, 30. I'm going to go 40% on Martin. I just love his heads up game. Nostalgic, just seeing his name. I used to love sweating his heads up matches. So give me Martin for 40 units.
All right, love the pick. I'm going to go Pablo Brazil. Vamos, Gente, 50. I'm going 50 on my man, 60 blinds. Pablo Silva, 50 units there.
Very nice. Give me 30 on binder. That Jack 10 of diamonds call got me fired up. Give me 30 on him.
Yeah, and he's one of the chip leaders. I like that. I'm going to go with Ole, man. This guy's just had my number, coolered me, beat me, outplayed me over my career. This guy always beats me, and I always just think he just whatever. He has the right recipe. We'll take 30 on Ole there.
I'm putting the rest of mine on the most handsome guy at this final table, Pedro Neves. That guy's a good-looking dude. Give me him. Give me that 58 big blinds.
Wow. All right. There you go. Pedro with the locks going for it. And I'll take Roman, man. Been a guest on the show. Great player, kind of on a heater. That's my 20. So that'll be our 3 and 3. We'll battle with that. And we will have giveaways for the audience. We're going to have $50 ticket, $100 ticket. I got to tweet out Going to give today a special $100, not 50. Didn't put it in the wording, but if you guys retweet, guess who's going to win? Be $100 cash for you today. I'm gonna go ahead and come out of my pocket. This is a fun one. $100 there on Jeff Gross Poker. I'll put the link in a little bit, and we are gonna go and we got it locked up. Look at that 50 to 1, man. Is that 50? 50 to 1 for uncapped at 7 blinds. That's tempting at home. That again is the GG in bet, the client betting you're able to do. Good luck to anyone who has action on this today. Seth and I have our dinner wager. Let's see how that goes. And we are going to be playing again to a winner today. No deal making, top 3 getting $1 million. And I can't wait to get to call the action with Seth. This is going to be a treat. We will let you take a 5-minute break. We'll be doing the seat shuffle for position when we get back. And of course, we're going to have ourselves a winner today on the GG Millions. This is again, season 2025, the first part and episode number 5. Let's have a big one. Take a break, Seth. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Welcome back again. We have Seth Davies alongside Jeff Gross. Just after the pregame show, we just previewed the final 9. Now we're going to get to see the seat draw. We're going to get to play to a winner. We're going to have ourselves a massive show again, 1.8 million plus to first place and no deal making. This is from Sunday. Pause. This is actually a 2-week special where they ran, and that's why this is such a large prize pool, more than normal today, as we get to see a look at the payouts in the lower left and the seat shuffle, starting with the 9th place stack. They have to go first. Seth, this is something I think you might not have done live. They do this to GGMillion live. I'm not sure if you made one of those final tables where they do this format. Have you seen this where they in order of the chip stack, do a selection for the seat? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And tell me a little bit of strategy about this.
No, I've done it before. I think it's pretty cool. It's like anything kind of new is kind of cool. The one thing that I do like about it is it's another little bonus for being the chip leader. So it kind of encourages people to gamble a little bit more on final table bubbles to try to get a bigger stack. So just provides a little bit more of an incentive to play some big pots.
No, it's well said. It's exactly right. This is definitely what we're gonna get to see. Let me know if anything jumps out at you from the seat selection. If you see anything, because I mean, typically you would just think that that you go to the left, right? Of the biggest stack's going to go directly to the left, but I guess there's a little bit of prediction early on where that might be, and then of course the button is in place. So the last switch here, let's see, we're going to have to see the number 1 stack. Would you assume he just goes to the left?
Where would I go? I would go. I think I would take uncapped place, honestly. I think when I'm a big stack, what I really want to do is not have short stacks on my left that can 3-bet shove on me very easy on my wide open. So I would have taken uncapped spot. I think that's the best place. You got 4 guys behind with all at least 12 million. So that's like the best place to open.
Really?
Even though the second place.
You would have Martin on your direct left in that spot.
Yeah, I would. I think it's actually more important to have a generally deeper lineup behind you that don't get to mess with you as easy.
Very interesting. So that's the type of insight looking for. That's definitely a little contrarian, I think, towards most people I've spoken with about that. But with that being said, being on the complete opposite side, that seems reasonable too, to sort of be away and then have position on Pedro. And that also looks like a pretty appetizing seat. But for sure, a big difference, right? Whether you're an uncapped or where he picked, there's a completely different sort of a strategy or landscape of how that shapes out. We'll see if that works out for B Binder, who did get to choose last. And couple big hands here, king, queen suited, and queens for Roman. Roman realizing this guy's going to be opening very tight, though, under the gun, right? He's got a under the gun stack that's vulnerable, and there's also a two shorter stacks. But with that said, he has queens, and he's going to 3-bet.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate Roman just calling here, honestly, just for those reasons you said. Like, Obstria is just not really looking to get all in, like if I was Obstria here, I think I would just fold to this 3-bet, as crazy as that sounds, with a hand this good. This is just a crazy tight spot. So Roman, obviously 3-betting is totally fine, but I would have called in his situation. And yeah, if I was Obstria here, I would fold. Maybe 4-bet small, maybe make it like 2.8 million and fold, but I would not be calling or shoving. But he does.
Wow. I mean, this is quite a start to the FT, and that is going to be top set for queens, and that is going to be drawing down on the turn. I'm a bit taken away by the whole hand. I just think, there's so many different things. That's why poker is beautiful. Different strategies. Could you fold king queen suited there even just to start, or is that unreasonable? Maybe open and then
open fold. I think it's too good to open fold. Yeah. I would definitely open it, but I would fold it to the 3-bet. Yep.
I love that this is one of the largest final tables we've done on GGMillion. I love how it's the biggest money, and sometimes we'll play 45 minutes or an hour and not have a knockout. And that was a hand that's definitely not going to go all the money in all the time, especially off the pre-flop. So there we go. Fast start. Everyone at home enjoying over 700 on to start. Let's have a huge show today. Again, I got the link I'll put in. It's going to be a $100 giveaway on my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker. I'll put that link up in a sec. And again, we will have a $1,500 giveaway for GGPoker. Tickets for you guys later in the show. Must be subscribed, must be following. Big hello out there. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. Pleasure to have you, and awesome to see some of the biggest names in the game. Ole, just again, timing, Seth, something that great players seem to have. They just, ace 10 off, gets it through. King, queen suited, run into a big hand. Just some of these guys just seem to bob and weave and duck and dive, and just sort of maneuver the right, right timing, right? Ace 10 off gets it through. Now all of a sudden that wouldn't be the case, right? Ace 10 suited open, you got ace queen, eights behind, and Ole just kind of picking up the ace 10 off with no contestation. Ace queen, good spot, uncapped here to get in. Also nice to have a pay jump, right? He already got a pretty big pay jump for being the shortest stack. So a nice start for uncapped. Has to like how this is going, and potentially gonna get a good spot to double and more. If eights get out of the way, I would think, although how much blinds is that? It's only 5 blinds. Pablo could be light, so maybe not. Does
Yeah,
he get?
I think we're likely to see another raise here. I think binder's probably going to min raise, which I like. I think that would be a good way to do this. I think uncap's going to just go with most of his pairs at this point. He's in a distant last. So I think binder's got a pretty good spot to just go ahead and click it. Yeah, there you go. And Pablo has to fold so many hands. I mean, Pablo could really go for a heroic one and click it again, but I mean, that would be kind of insane. So I think if I was Pablo, I would just fold, and I think that's what he will do.
With that being said, you're right. It's sort of appealing for all those reasons. Of course, we see the whole cards up, and it's easy to know that how, you look at it like, oh, that'd be cool. But it is a pretty cool spot because he realizes that B Binder can do this pretty wide and isolate. And all of a sudden he can take himself a profit of 1.5 instead of losing 6-9 and then have a chance at winning this other pot. So let's see. Pablo's wheels are spinning.
Yep. Oh, he calls. Okay. Call is, I don't know if I would like call, but again, this is only 10 big blinds at this point. The raise is not gigantic. So, and Pablo's got the thing going for him where B Binder can't really just bluff with nothing post flop as much. I mean, he shouldn't really have anything that's totally air pre-flop, but because he has to win the three-way or the pot where uncapped is all in, things should just go a little more calmly post flop here with actual real hands betting and less of the just like pure bluffing or whatever.
This is a fascinating start to this final table. Another interesting hand. Ace 10 suited actually going to give Pablo a good chance to take this pot down right now. He's got the nut flush draw. He's got a little bit of ammo. He can construct a pot and maybe pick up that side pot and more. And uncapped is going to now goes from basically potentially flipping to having to deal with a lot. And Ace 10 suited now has it locked up as it stands, right? No outs anywhere for anyone. Nut flush. Eights are going to be a little bit in no man's land. Ace queen is not in the tournament anymore, although he may think he has a chance with that diamond.
Pablo's going to win at least one bet here too. He's going to bet really small here, and B Binder's not going to go anywhere versus like a say 1.5 million chip bet. Or maybe he will, but it goes a little bigger than I thought, but I would expect Binder to continue here.
He does have the diamond, and he does kind of have that uncomfortable spot where you're kind of guessing. You don't know if you want a diamond or you don't, but as played, it could easily have, right, this hand, ace queen or ace king with the diamond that played this way from Pablo, and there's a healthy side pot brewing. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think he's, for that size, maybe has to stick on, and I think Pablo could have gone even smaller, but of course, again, a little nuance, and maybe it doesn't make a difference in Binder's mind. He would have 1.5, 1.9. Does call. Oh, baby, that is nasty. Mr. Silva. I mean, talk about a run out. You get the perfect, just clean 8 on the river as played. You're just, man, this is insane. And now what a
tournament here, man.
What a dream spot. How greedy can you be?
Again, I would bet small. We kind of talked about this in a similar spot where our friend made a flush on the river in the lead up. I really like this size from Pablo.
Such a crazy sweat start for Pablo. I mean, if you think about it, he snap called, right? He would have particularly got more, but to your point, also he re-raised isolated pre. Like, is he doing that with king, queen suited of diamonds? There's probably not many flushes there ever, right? So it's like, yeah, what then can you get called by that as played? And he did get a big day. We got a knockout, big hand, big start for Pablo. 30 million. He is your chip leader. Basically has, I want to say, no, he's got 1.5 second. There's still Roman, Martin healthy, B Binder still 17, 15. A lot of chips in play. And don't stop believing. He is believing in pay jumps today. He is up to, before we even have the names put in the lower left, 9th and 8th, he's already up to 362. And he's like, hey, I can fold for half a mil. Maybe I can just fold my way for a couple more and get it done. I mean, he's got plenty of chips, and these guys are firing today.
I mean, if these runouts keep going, we'll be heads up in about 4 hands. So
yeah, you might be able to make lunch over there in Vegas. Yeah. You might be able to
Seriously.
Really, man, wow, what a start. Tens to ace four suited, got the wheelbarrow draw, backdoor clubs, ace four suited, definitely a flop in position that you're not going anywhere immediately. Ole gonna start with a check.
I mean,
It's a
even this flop doesn't smash either of these guys either, but like it kind of does. This is another spot where we could see a big hand right here. Ole's got a perfect type of hand to check raise. Pablo's got, or Pedro, sorry, has the gutter and the backdoor flush draw. So we could see some more fireworks here. Ole does go the conservative route, which is fine.
All right, I just put that link in there, guys. $100 cash out of my pocket. That'll be sent any way which you like. So that is not a GG ticket. That is 100 USD, and you can go ahead and guess who you think wins and retweet that. So good luck out there as we see a bet from Pedro coming and pressuring Ole in uncomfortable waters here because, all right, right now you might think you're good or it's close, but man, you call here and now SPR is less than 1, right? Going to the river, 3.6. You got 9 million. You have about 5.5. So this is kind of dicey, right? Tens and man, really tough spot. It is against the button, wider range. Also, you
I
have
love
10.
this out of Pedro. I love this bet out of Pedro. I mean, Ole should
Yeah.
just have ace queen, ace 10 suited. Ace jack suited obviously improved a lot. Pocket sixes. This is just a really efficient bet from Pedro. I really like what he's doing here.
And if you're Ole, part of this is the history and the knowing of the player. You believe, will he follow through with a hand like this? Let's say he calls and the river's, oh man,
Oh,
wow, that's pretty dirty. I was gonna say, what if the
Ole
river
is
is a 5 or a board pair 3 or something, and do you think Pedro follows through on a bluff? I guess that's sort of one of those things that you start knowing with at your opponent. And what do you think Pedro would have done if it bricked out there on the river? Was he going to give that up? And depending on the river, what brick?
man, it is that's kind of where you find out what a guy's about in a situation like that is, all the heat's on. Does he have that last bullet in him? So I don't know Pedro enough to have a solid idea of what he's doing, but that's kind of what it's all about at these big final tables. Who's going to pull that trigger and who's not.
Yep. And I would imagine, Seth, I know you, Jason Kuhn. Actually, I just got to play some high stakes cash with him the other day, catch up with him maybe last week and you guys I know are in the same camp and do a lot of studying and play at the highest level in the world. I'm sure there's some spreadsheets, right, with notes. You got the, Pedro, you mentioned great hair, handsome guy, but also like you have notes. Does he follow through? Like how detailed? Give us a little look inside your detailed. I don't need you to tell me about Pedro Ole, but give me sort of some attributes or things you guys are looking at with players, like doesn't sell the river, this, like what, how intricate are your notes, and what would you give us a little insight on how you do make your notes on players, because you play highest stakes smaller fields, so you see a lot of the same guys, right, which is a little easier and more, it makes more sense to make notes versus main event type fields where you're never play with someone maybe once or never again, but here you do play with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head right there. A lot of what you want to know about these guys, especially some guys you're not super familiar with, is how are they going to respond when the stakes get really high? When they're four-handed and they're first versus second in chips, are they going to have it in them to run some gigantic bluff for 75 big blinds when they're playing for 4.5 million at a Triton final table? So that's, one of the biggest things you can learn about a guy is just kind of what he's made of. Is he a chicken down deep, or is he a guy who's going to try to win the pot? So, yeah.
Sure. No, it's fun, man. It's so fun. Poker's it just really is, like, even you talk about GTO, this, that, exploiting, like at the end of the day, it's any given day. It's like a box of chocolates, right? Every day's different. Are you short stacked, mid stacked? Are you chip leader? Who's at your table? How are they playing? Do you make adjustments? How well do they know? It's just such a great game, right? And any day, like even here, some of these guys know each other. Who has what position? How are they stacked? How are the other players playing? It's just always sort of there's available to have a great moment, to play great, like golf, right? There's always a great play you can make, a great bluff you can make, a great call you can make, and it's just never the same. Everything's always a little bit different. Why it's so fun.
Yep, especially at these final tables, like you're saying, the distribution is always changing. The player type is always changing. It is so far away from like a solved game. It's just not even close. And
Yeah,
that's the coolest part. I mean, the guys who are making the best plays at these final tables, they're just good poker players playing good poker. It's not, I saw a chart, I'm going to do this. It's like the guys who can unpack all the information in front of them, which is too much for the computer to handle. So it's sick. It's really fun to sweat.
Yeah, and then you have the Santa coming from like Estonia who comes and wins and takes second in the biggest stuff and just shows it's possible for anyone at any time. And poker is just like, yeah, it's great, right? It's like you can have all the information, but if you know the basics and you know how to, you're willing to gamble and execute, you definitely at any given day anyone can win, and it's awesome. Look at the 500K. I mean, look, my man over there, Popo.
Coco.
He obviously is not like a amateur. That guy's won some crazy stuff. He's trained with some great players. He's a very good player, but like just showing that he can go in and beat guys that are the best of the best and take it down, stuff like that. It's really cool. It's impressive and fun to see. But he's a great player.
Absolutely.
He's definitely a
For
tough
sure.
player.
He's a battler. That guy plays some awesome poker hands, and he's a perfect example of what we're talking about here, where he's a guy who he's going to go in there, he's going to give every hand his whole focus and try to figure out what's best in every single situation. He's not just going to be trying to follow some simple strategy that he tried to memorize. He's trying to play the game.
Yeah, and a little unlucky there. Roman ace-6 going to play. Pablo, things working his way, going and chips up there as he is at 32 million and has ace-10, and just sort of everything sort of working for him right now, right? Ace-10 again, here we go, open, no one has anything, pick it up, got in that spot with the ace-10 B binder, sort of took a play out of your book. Anything he could have done differently there with the eights? I mean, obviously the run out was insane, but like you said, you like that sort of isolate pre. Could he have gone bigger there? Was it the right size no matter what? Like the ace-10 suited, that was a bit, as you said, maybe that was even the one spot where maybe he wouldn't continue. Ace-10 suited could have folded. Ace-10 off, I'm sure he folds.
Yeah, the eights. I think the only thing Binder could have done differently is thought about it a little bit on the river. I think that's a situation where he has a very good hand, but the hands that Pablo is value betting, maybe your hand's not so good against him. So I would have at least considered it on the rivers, especially because none of Pablo's flushes have an eight of diamonds in them. So that eight of diamonds is kind of a useless blocker. So he'd rather have like, tens with a diamond than eights with a diamond. We got another set here though.
Yeah, no set, no bet. B Binder is in another spot. This time his set looking much more promising. Martin going to be speeding here with the backdoor galore. He's got the running straight, running flush, but he is in a world of pain. And let's see, this just feels like one of those five of spade turn. He's going to call, and we're going to get to see a crazy thing. This is so dry. The raising here would be a little bit wild, no?
I don't think it would be wild, but you're going to be calling a lot. I mean, the way it kind of works is just when you have a set, they have top pair a lot. So like by unblocking ace jack,
Yeah.
it's pretty good to just raise and try to play a big pot. But man, this is developing here.
It seemed like this is the theme today. We got action. This is obviously going to be a spade or a gut shot. The spade being a little more exciting than a five or a six. We got the spade, and he does check back, but unfortunately checks into a top pair. And now sevens, effectively the nuts. What? Nothing really changed. I mean, queen 10. You would think he would bet queen 10 if he bet queen didn't check the turn spade draw, but again, maybe would have. Now, either way, it's effectively the nuts for B Binder as played 3.6 million in the middle, and he probably can't count on a bet. At the same time, you could check and try to maybe a king, queen, or ace king, but instead he bets himself and probably will work out for a call. Though you got to be worried if you're Martin. I mean, you have a pure bluff catch.
Yeah, and he has a bad bluff catcher too with the four in his hand. The obvious bluffs for rebinder are 4-6, 4-5. So I would expect Martin to fold this. But yeah. I think if I
Yeah,
was B binder, I would have liked to go for a check raise rather than a big bet, but
I was just thinking that's interesting, and again, it's like to have that gear to have that patience to do it, because you are realizing that you're going to get checked back a fair amount, but those times where you do get the bet or the bluff, and I think that right as we see it would have been better. Martin though, is he going to bet the king four has played? Probably, right, because he checked turn river top Harry, almost has to bet that. No.
I would expect so. Yeah, with how little money had gone in at that point, I would expect a value bet from Martin, but not necessarily. I could see him potentially not. I really like this out of binder here, going with the small raise size. This is something he wants to do a lot, um, and yeah, he's got a good hand for it. So don't stop believing's kind of an interesting spot here. Call's good.
Does get the call again. Yeah, nice creativity, getting his opponent in there or less, getting them in to call. Would have folded to a shove. He now calls. Does pick up some equity, but
One of the things I wanted to say about Binder, which was cool, we didn't get a touch on in the Open, is that based on his, prior GG earnings and buy-in level, he seems like a lower stakes guy who's final tabled this. Sorry if I'm wrong on this, but it kind of seemed that way. So this is kind of probably extra high stakes for him. This could be like a career defining moment for him. So it's good to be witnessing that.
yeah, absolutely. King three gonna call now. Jack on the turn. B binder still blind on blind. Ace king. Got to seem, doesn't hit the ace or the king. What are your thoughts here? Is there ever a world where binder gets off this or no? As he plays this, it's short stack free. He's kind of playing as for value, even though the board's not great.
Honestly, I think it's kind of goofy, but I think he should go all in for value. It's a very strange spot, but I think it's a spot where Don't Stop Believing has lots and lots of suited hands. So he's going to be in a situation where he's going to have like, king eight of clubs, king seven of diamonds, queen seven of diamonds, queen four of diamonds, stuff like this. So binder just kind of shoves to either blow those hands off their equity or just stack them. Like if he has king four of diamonds, you might Don't Stop Believing he's probably just going to call off. And then if you check and bet, it's just kind of if with the ace king, if you check and he bets, it's just kind of nothing goes good for you when you check basically. So you just like shove and it's kind of like a value bet / protection thing.
Yep.
It's a very unique spot, but I mean, I guess it happens relatively often with these short stocks. But now Binder's definitely just looking to check and see a river. Don't Stop Believing. Interesting spot. I mean, this is such a good run out for him. I probably would just bluff. The flush completes, the 7-8 type stuff completes, 7-9. So yeah, he's pretty far down in his range. He doesn't really have any relevant suits, but I think he just forces tons and tons of folds versus unpaired overcards with a bet here.
In terms of relevant suits, though, like if he had a diamond draw or club draw, would you anticipate that would have got in on the flop probably with club draw? So
It could sometimes for sure. If it's bigger, like let's say Don't Stop Believing has like a king four of clubs in the big blind. I would really, really like just calling the flop because you want Binder to just stay in the pot when he has, Jack four or 10-4 of hearts because he has a very weak range play flop because there's only 12 big blinds to play.
yeah,
So he's going to have like Jack four offsuit, 10-4 offsuit, 7-9 offsuit even, or 7-9 might even be too strong. He just has such weak hands that you just have like a bunch of showdown value when you have king four of clubs and you just want to let him stay in the pot when you crush him.
yeah. B binder burning some clock there. You can see the chess clock for the players done off of a calculation and not quite 15 minutes. Used to be 15 minutes. Everyone get a little bit less, but here we go. Burning some. B binder has a decision and big swing, for Don't Stop Believing. He wins this pot. He's tied with Ole. If he doesn't, he's pretty much on the ropes, but he is bluffing, doing his best, and it looks strong. Looks like
I
he
think
wants.
Binder's going to call here. I mean, the thing that sticks out to me about this hand is that Don't Stop Believing. If he has any pair, even just like a 5, it's good enough to go all in. So yeah, it just kind of doesn't look like a value hand when he bets that small. So that's a pretty sweet call from Binder. And yeah, I think just the problem there was Don't Stop Believing not going all in. Like every value hand he has just wants to bet all in. So just kind of looks like nothing.
Interesting, very interesting. So shoving would have got that done probably in that particular
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, because if Binder has anything decent on the turn, he's just going to go all in on the double flush draw turn. So he just always has an unpaired hand. So Don't Stop Believing can just shove any pair on the river himself. Big hand for Binder there. Pretty impressive call there. If what I said is true and he is playing this gigantic spot way bigger than any spot before, that's a really ballsy call there to make, and that's super impressive.
Yeah, really, really interesting final table. Again, always seem to have that when you have the best in the world battling for the biggest prizes today. Extra large, extra exciting, extra big payouts, and we've seen quite a start with a knockout instantly. as well as another followed up knockout and some interesting hands so far. Only down to 5 mil. Queen deuce suited in the small blind. Don't stop believing the suited queen seven on the button. Does have the best hand of the hands remaining and can't imagine being much more picky with 4 blinds folded to you, right? This is a fist pump, I guess, shove.
Yes,
Or at
sir.
least
We're all in. We're all
yeah.
in. Pablo's got a pretty interesting decision here. 4.5 big blinds. He makes it 3. I wouldn't mind him going either. I think I would call it. I think honestly, if he would have shoved, I might have folded. But if he only makes it 3 big blinds, I can call and not lose that last 400,000 on a bad flop. I think I would call here.
That's the pro like yeah, right, okay. He's just gonna click it in.
I wouldn't
Avoid
do that. I wouldn't put it in,
okay.
but that's
He's
okay.
gonna make him C5, and we're gonna get a money's worth sweat as he hits the
There it
flush.
is.
Diamonds are maybe forever, maybe just for today, but they are in Pablo's favor. He has won some healthy pots. We see the GG flags from Craig goes all in on Roman there as we're again making quick work today. Down to 6. I gotta be ready for the giveaway, guys. Be ready, be subscribed, hit that thumbs up. Gonna have a 50 and $100 GG ticket. And on my Twitter, I see you guys are working already. We see a bunch of you already hitting the retweet. You can guess who's going to win. Retweet it. And I will make sure to have a $100 in cash for one of you today. We'll do that at the end of the show. I will pick that as well. So good luck there. I gotta get that out, man. Who do you so far? Who's anything stand out? I guess I mean Pablo obviously off to the races here. Anyone else that you've seen something you like the binder call? Feel like he's playing well.
Man, I like the binder call. I just like the amount of cojones people are showing at this final table. This has been sick. We had that huge king queen suited 4-bet shove. We've seen just a bunch of ballsy plays and ballsy calls. So it's been fun. Now we got this situation where we're getting some really deep stacks here. I mean, everybody's got 60 BB plus besides Ole. So we can see some crazy pots if we want.
Yeah, that's sort of the how it works. So either way, it evens out. It's either goes pretty fast to start, and then people get deeper, or we see sort of go eight-handed, nine-handed, linger on for an hour, and then it starts getting rapid. So we have seen the version where it's going quick, but again, we could be down to 5-handed if we lose Ole, and then everyone's still pretty healthy. As the hands do go up though faster, right? When it's shorter handed, you can see upper left, 3 hands left, the blinds will be up think to 2-4, and you can see in the lower left the payouts and the names of who got what. Good luck to everyone today. Hope you're having a nice day. If you're grinding, if you're playing, have it up on the side. Please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Seth Davies over in Nevada. I am in Florida, actually at Daytona. Going to be doing the NASCAR charity event today. I'm seeing that. So excited. Drove up 4 hours late last night. Ended up taking longer than we thought, but I'm here now. Excited to be on the road calling this action. Wouldn't miss this one. And Seth, we really do appreciate the time for this. I know he's gearing up for Jeju. And how much buy-ins? What do you anticipate when you go there in that type of Triton event? What are you preparing yourself for mentally for being in for?
Well, last Triton was in Monte Carlo. I was in for 2 million in buy-ins, so this stuff's no joke. Jeju's a little bit lower, so I think I'll probably be in for 1.5 or so, depending on how the big stuff goes. But man, it is wild. These Tritons, they just keep getting bigger. The stakes keep getting bigger. More people start showing up. So, and Jeju's the spot. Jeju's, you get so many Asian players that don't get to come to Europe and play, so it's super cool that you get just a lot bigger fields.
Yeah, it's awesome. No, it's exciting and always nice to start out nice, right? Get a final table, maybe lock up 500 or a mil, at least take down some of the exposure. I mean, I'm sure you've played so many of these. You've had, I would imagine, a wide variety of trips, right? Where some that start fast and go great, some that are slower at the end. You don't want to be there at the end needing the main or have something go really well. But again, I'm sure you again look at it. It's a long process. You don't look at one stop specifically, but those are yeah, big swings, big swings, big buy-ins and big emotions out there. A lot of
Oh yeah,
fun and
man.
high stakes. That's awesome.
The way my 2024 went, I'll give you guys a little insight into my results, how they went. In August and September, I won on the biggest heater of my career. I made about $4.5 million. And then in that Triton Monaco that I just told you about, I lost almost 2 million. So we're dealing with some big ass numbers, big ass swings. And yeah, obviously you want to get some kind of good results. Uh, early on, it takes a lot of the stress out of it, and you're just not, hoping you final table the main event to get out of the hole. So hopefully we can knock out a win and maybe a 30K, and then play stress free all the high stakes stuff. Maybe we'll get
Yeah,
that one.
it does help. Definitely helps get ahead of things on the same as for online and series and the WSOP stuff, right? Just it's always a mental battle, and it does help to start well. But here we see these players all in for a nice payday, guaranteed in the lower left there, almost a half a million already for 70. And you can see the stacks again. Going to see some poker today for sure. Ole, see if he can join the rest and get a double and some get a little run going, or if he's going to be down, we'll be down to 5. One or the other. Ole's going to have to get in. He just did get a check raise in with top pair against Pedro and chipped up a bit. 5.8 million. Blinds did go up 175, 350. So they do put that level in. Next will be 2-4 and a couple of kings here for Roman. Not much else going for the rest of the players. And tell me about your big blind defend here. 8-9 off. Like how wide, deeper 350K stack, 8-9 off against under the gun, 6-handed. What are you kind of looking at in terms of defend or not?
I think I would defend this one. One of the big determinants in whether you're playing from the big blind or not is the disparity in your stack with the opener. And that was a
Yeah.
situation where they got pretty similar stacks. So although this is very person dependent, I think what you'll see a lot of the times is people playing pretty cooperatively when they have similar stacks, not necessarily trying to shred each other. But like I said in the open, Roman is a aggressive player who likes to battle. So maybe he is the type of guy you want to be a little less interested in defending, because he's just gonna force you to play some big pots, which, for better or for worse, sometimes when that happens, you're just kind of screwing each other and letting all the other guys gain the EV. But yeah, like we said, you got to know your different players and adjust to them.
And at the moment, we have 3 Austrian flags out of the 6. We have a Brazilian, Netherlands, and you mentioned maybe from Portugal. I'm sorry, actually, we have 4. 4 Austrian flags out of 6. That's pretty
We're
wild.
Austrian. Two of those are German. One of them's Czech. Proman's from Czech. Martin and
Yep.
Ole are German. I'm not sure where Binder's from.
Yep.
Yeah, good mix of nationalities in this one. This is cool.
Yeah, this is always again the Champions League. I know there's some Champions League action going in the world of soccer, football, if you will. And this is again, we like to call it the Champions League of poker. This online event, always the biggest buy-in, biggest weekly tournament, biggest prizes, biggest names in the game, and of course the biggest guest, Seth Davies, holding that up there today. You can see over 30 million in earnings. I believe 32 million. Number 1 Oregon all time. Chris Brewer in the rear view. He's there with 25, I believe. But which part you grew up in Oregon, or you were born there?
Yep. My family moved to Central Oregon when I was 1, so can't say born and raised, but effectively, yeah. Ski
Yeah,
town,
that
ski
nice.
town in the mountains, kind of cool nature, not a big city. I like Roman going for this here. Nice combo for it. Gets to ask Ole if he wants to play for his tournament life, kind of.
And Ole will oblige as the risk premium, the lowest, shortest stack out, I believe 8's pretty good hand. I mean, it looks scary, but I don't see a world where for this stack he's folding, and that is, I'm shocked there. But I guess,
I one.
what do you think?
I wouldn't have folded. I think calling is an option. This all in's kind of the standard play, I would say. But I think calling's an option too. Ole doesn't have a lot of pressure on him. He's so far in last place that he
Yeah.
gets to kind of play poker. He doesn't have to be a chicken. So I'm very surprised he folded there. But he is a very, feel-based player. He goes with his reads, which are often very good. That one happened to be a miss, but hey, that's poker.
I wonder if that almost looked in his mind. He's like, yeah, I'm so short that maybe Roman's just not messing with me light because
Sure.
there's not really much pressure or something level him there. And again, Ole, just a guy I
Yep.
feel does get it right almost always in that particular spot. A pretty big mistake, right? Or I shouldn't say mistake, a pretty big opportunity as the King 7 was only one over. It wasn't even a fake flip. He was dominating him. And, again, to close your eyes and just call could be better there, right? Like you said. And then, you could get bluffed on a few flops, but yeah, that was a little surprising. And here he goes, though. He's got himself potentially getting a double or a lot of chips as he turns 2 pairs, 0% for Pablo, although scary card still. Ole with 2 pair here as played, check back, pretty sure going to be not going anywhere. losing to very few hands, and see if he wants to check or bet. I
Probably
guess,
just go ahead and bet this one.
yeah.
Pablo's just unlikely to bet himself, even if he's got queens or ace jack. So I would just go ahead and bet and try to get some value.
Yeah, the ace 7 off does have a blocker to ace queen, for the straight. He does also, he was one of the early raises, but yeah, just gonna get out of the way. Nothing too cute there. Folds, Ole picks it up, and look, made a tightish fold, but he still has 6.3 million at 350 big blind. He's by no means in critical land, and there we see the 4 deuce off versus eights. Probably gonna pick a better time to get involved. Maybe some players do have a complete limp strategy, but off that stack depth into the chip leader, elects to fold. Four
Yep.
deuce definitely makes, can't argue with that. No pair, no ace. King 3 suited for Ole. Shortest stack button.
Raise this one up.
Pick it up. Some household names here for the final six. Definitely some big names, some legends of the game, some newer faces, and again Pablo Silva. I got to double check. I was just looking at him, but his results for live. He plays a lot of the Tritons, correct?
Yep. Yep. He's played a lot of high stakes poker in the last 4 years.
Yeah, he's number 7, the Brazil all-time list. It took down $1 million score, 3.6 million in earnings, where puts him in 7th. As yeah, we're regular here on the show. Ace 10 of diamonds. Gonna go ahead and
Pretty interesting spot for Roman here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he would have taken it up. Yeah, but I guess call is kind of the standard, but he could really, it was just kind of a good spot to really apply pressure to Pedro specifically. And then Ole's kind of got this tight, narrow range that his ace 5 suited kind of has some special equity against, and Ole is going to fold a lot of it versus a bigger 3-bet, I would say.
yeah, that ace, that flat though off his stack size looks pretty strong. What you're, as your
It
point
does,
though,
yeah.
ace 5 suited, you can, again, the hands that might flat or trap, you still have pretty good equity against.
Yep.
And Pedro now out of position, facing a bet from Ole, does have backdoors and middle pair, although that is a big action card. Wow. Ace 10 jumps in the lead, Jack 10 suited now, gut shot with a flush draw and a pair. So everything going on here.
Oh, show us a bet and a shove one time. I mean, I think Ole is going to check, but this would be great to see like a 1.9 million and then a shove from Pedro. I do. Yeah, there's the check, but
And again, here we go. What does Ole do? He gets in sort of a modest starting hand, dominating, gets a pretty interesting run out, and he is now in position with a winner against Pedro. So all of a sudden, regardless here, he's gonna have 9.5 million, and just shows us that fold with the eights. I think some of that too is maybe just part of the game plan. When you know you're a great player, you understand situations well, and look at eights and okay, you got bluffed. And very rare Roman's gonna have a hand like that. King 7 suited, or maybe a weak ace, or maybe a wheel ace suited, but he just finds a way to stay out of uncomfortable, strange spots, right? He gets to play position, be in comfortable situations, find himself in position with the best hand, and just kind of textbook stuff. Doesn't go for a bet there. Can't blame him as played, but again, 9.5 million, sort of almost doubled up without being all in here and finding a way back into the game. Very healthy all of a sudden with 9.5, 350K big blind.
yeah, yeah. And like you said about that eights hand, it's kind of when he 4-bet shoves, if he had 4-bet shoves, it's okay. It's like, okay, I hope I don't run into a value hand. There's not too much. You can't make a rock solid read in that situation very clearly. So he's kind of got this game plan of I'm going to stay in spots where I can more accurately range my opponents and make more perfect decisions. So hats off to him for being patient and chipping up in better spots. Ooh.
Ace, king, jack.
We're likely going to see a medium-sized pot here. This is a spot where I know that Roman bets, it's less likely, but I was going to say if he checks and Pedro bets, this is just ace king is a really good bluff catcher for 2 streets, depending on what the run out is. So I would have raised the turn if I was Pedro. he's kind of got just this total dry three. If you would have had a hand like 4-3 or 6-3 or something like that, hands that have the attributes where like you make a full house when they make a straight, it's kind of an
Right.
extra little boost for slow playing. But when you just have a dry one, it's
Yeah.
more important to just raise, get money in, especially when you have no spade, because that means Roman has flush draws more often and you can get value from those.
Yep.
But yeah, calling's fine. I'm not saying it was a bad play.
For sure. Again, blind on blind, the widest ranges players have in the spot, just how when it folds blind on blind. And here we see the Jack 3 off making a nice hand, and Roman here on the river has a bit of a decision. Frustrating. Blind on blind, you get ace king and it's board, and now you're like debating and you're guessing, and he makes again another just good decision.
Fold.
Gets it
Fold,
right.
yep. Yeah, a lot of stuff gets there on the 4, so less appealing of a bluff catch. 6-7, ace deuce, 4-6, all makes stuff that can't bluff anymore.
These hands are always difficult in the big blind. You're in no man's land, sort of with the modest ace, and you call as this ends up being potentially a favorable situation with the ace of heart and the 8, which is plain. Pablo
Yeah.
is the chip leader, also going to open so wide here pre-flop. So, still uncomfortable, but as it stands, you're happy with this outcome so far.
Yep.
Ace,
A little bit
8.
surprised to see Pablo c-bet this, honestly, but it's totally fine. He's got top pair. He's just got the type of top pair that plays great as a check back, and it's a situation where there's not so much separation in the stacks that you can just c-bet all the time. So I would have checked, but obviously totally fine play to just throw a small bet out there and try to maybe bluff catch river or go
Yeah.
for another small river value bet. Yeah, now if I'm binder, I like something like quarter pot, 30% pot, 900K.
Yeah,
Try
definitely
to get
Pablo
called like
bluffs him.
king, queen. What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, you could easily have king jack, king queen, king 10. He bet the flop, check turn, and that's a nice bet size there.
Just
Gets
bet, yep.
paid by Pablo as pretty safe. He's got the 8 there and there. Not just seems nice. Pablo and our guy Binder are the 1 and 2 stack right now, but again, very healthy stacks. No one's super short. Ole back up over 20 bigs, healthy as queen 5 off. Likely gonna
Deep
pass.
stack final tables are fun. I'm glad this is playing out this way. You really get to see people's poker games come to light, You really get to see what they're about, what they're willing to go for, what they're not.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely get deeper today. Early couple shorties out, and everyone here healthy as Jack 6 suited going to limp in. Pablo Silva has the option, Queen 10 off. Good hand to check back. Does that as we see a top 2 pair flop versus a gut shot. So when you get checked back, if you're kind of this board, I mean, this board sort of hits the check back range pretty hard, right? The sort of hands you don't want to, either the best hands or the worst hands usually can go ahead and shoot it up. Queen 10 now with a small bet. It does have the gut shot equity, but I mean, this is not a ton
I
going
would,
on here.
I would peel one. Pablo does size up a little bit, which I don't think is. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, it's as long as he's not betting huge. But good fold by Ole there. I would have called. I think just for one. But it was half pot instead of a min bet, and min bet's kind of the standard there.
A couple suited hands here. Nice looking hand for Martin in the big blind. Pedro going to go ahead and open 10-8 suited. Ole a little less chips to work with. Be binder 5-7 suited. Thinking wheels turning, but does he want to get involved? No. Yeah, Martin Finger, Roman, Pedro, Binder, all very similar. Then you have kind of Pablo and Ole that comprise the big and short, and the rest are very tight. So yeah, it's sort of a wide open FT today. Queen 10 off, Pablo flat. A little surprising there for me at least, but
So I got Martin, Pedro, and Binder. You You have the other three for your bet, right? For the bet.
Yeah, I got Roman, Pablo, and Ole.
Shaping up. We haven't lost any of our guys yet.
Great picking. Everyone, we're dialed in. Know what to expect. These guys are gonna be. We'll play to a winner, and again, well, yeah, we'll have some blood. Then we'll have a dinner. Someone's gonna win. Martin Finger with a interesting turn.
Unfortunately, his royal flush out is dead, but
Yeah, we're not gonna get to see that at this exact hand. And 10-8 Pedro now getting checked to twice. Does he want to take a stab? No. And Queen 10 Pablo will get got on the river. Martin gonna welcome that nut flush. Board's paired, but pretty safe. No chips been put in at any point. Has to feel pretty good.
good spot for a huge bet too. I mean, nobody in this pot has shown any interest, and Martin's the only guy who should check the turn always. So he's kind of the only one with an uncapped range. Obviously, he, actually has the near nuts in this situation. So I
Yeah.
like him going for a big bet. I wouldn't have even minded something huge like 4 or 5 million.
Yeah. But as it stands, that will get him a call at least. And Pablo with the Queen 10 off. What about that call pre-flop Queen 10 offsuit? Any thoughts? Good, bad, not sure. Depends.
I mean, I think it's close. Yeah, it was a min raise, so I don't hate it. I think I would have folded, but yeah, have no problem doing it, especially if he thinks Pedro is a guy he can apply a lot of pressure to post flop and kind of over realize his equity. So yeah, without me having a strong read on Pedro either way, I would have folded, but Pablo probably knows him better than I do, so I have no problems with it.
Ace Jack, Ace 9, Ace 5 suited, showing us how hard it is to make a pair. All the aces, Ace 5 with a gut shot. The Ace of Spade, Roman has the key card here.
I would have bet that from Pedro. This is a really good board for him. Martin's just going to have nothing or a pair. And Pedro, very similar to earlier when he had ace five of clubs or ace four of clubs in that three bet pot. The same kind of situation is going to happen here where he gets to bet the flop, face one call, and then on the turn, he's going to get to barrel again. So I think his hand plays a little bit better as a flop C bet. Roman going for it. I don't hate it. He's got a good card. The best card.
And the Jack, though, Ace Jack, big ass Martin, though. So this is again one of those ones you say, okay, I call here.
I
5.3
wouldn't I wouldn't
middle.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
hate Martin just folding here, honestly. It might look kind of crazy to you. Yeah, there it is. I don't mind it, like when Roman bets that big three ways on the completed flush turn, he's basically telling them I have a flush or I have a flush draw. So Martin's just got, a bluff catcher, even though he has top pair, top kicker, and he's just gonna have to decide, do I really want to play this bloated pot and possibly face a river shove? So yeah, pretty, that's Roman. That's how Roman plays the game, which is cool. He just pressures, forces people to make huge decisions and got a big fold there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he calls at 1.5, it's like 5.3 in the middle, and then you have to guess and or your opponent's drawing. And then if it bricks out, yeah, you're guessing he might. That's another part of the notes. I would imagine that players are they capable? Also, will they follow through? And that's not easy to play against if your opponent, is going to put you to the test there on the river, whether they have it or not. So you're kind of basically in your mind gearing up for a big river bet. And yeah, got it done. Roman at 19 million, sitting in comfortable position. Lots to play for. Wide open here. Ace King, Ace Jack again for Ace Jack Martin, and this time does not have the best hand. Pablo with Ace King, 2 million in the middle, 2.2. Checks
Yeah,
it
the
back.
board I expect to not see much money go in. I expect this to just check all the way down the majority of the time, unless the river is something like obviously an ace, jack, or king. But yeah, pretty much the only situation that I expect to bet on a card that does not improve these guys would be like a five or a three, where one of them tries to blow the other off a chop. But yeah, now I expect this to just go check, check.
Yeah, everyone here healthy on the chess clock. Everyone above 10, basically 10 minutes above, only 9:30. Steve Binder
Pablo
second.
going for the value bet. Thin value bet.
Let's bet it. Is that also blocker a bit too, or not really? Is that in the spot? He's got the ace of hearts, thinks he's got the best hand, but
Yeah, I mean, I would just call it a pure value bet. It's kind of a block too, because if Martin has pocket sevens, he's not going to raise this. So it's kind of like if he has sevens, eights, or nines, I'm going to lose 700K versus if I check, he might bet like 1.8 million. So it's kind of a block in that sense. Wow. Good value bet there. Pretty nicely done by Pablo.
yeah, and then he's able to do that too because that gets the call by ace high. Martin knows that Pablo as a chip leader will open wide. Doesn't necessarily have to have a hand as strong as ace king there. And here are a couple real hands: Jackson, ace king,
Oh,
and
here we go.
we're gonna
We're flipping for Ole's tournament life.
yeah, we're gonna be potentially down to 5, or things are gonna get real tight. We're gonna just tighten it up even more. The short stack will be very healthy around 17 mil. A little
I'm
more
rooting for
even.
my man Binder trying to win this dinner from you.
I get it. I understand. We're definitely going somewhere nice. That's for sure. It's not going to be in and out or will you eat healthy.
The old Taco Bell drive-through.
Yeah, let's see. It's up for grabs. Ole though, I would say Ole's my history of watching and being a part of Ole's table, whether I'm calling action or there, he's done well. But hey, it's a pure flip. Jack's to ace king. Who's going to get it? We'll see 5 as a need help. Got the clubs covered as well. 6 and needs now ace or king on the river. 17.7. Huge implications, and it is a paint sweat. That looks like a lady. Is it? Yeah, that's the lady.
There it is.
GG. 5 left now. Good game, Ole. Everyone happy, likes Ole, but I'm probably happy to see him go out there as they know what he is capable of and at any point in striking distance. So here we go. New chip leader, B Binder, 33 million. Pablo in the second, and everyone healthy, as you said. Gonna see some poker now. We got 5 left. Everyone guaranteed. What's that? 6. Okay, 647. Yeah, it's a healthy day for buy-ins on a 10K. You can see the payouts loaded up.
600 already.
Special
God damn.
600 is a lot for a 10K buy-in, and yeah, nothing too surprising so far, other than some quick knockouts. We are about an hour in, and we've lost 4. So that is, there's been hours where we don't lose 1.
Binder taking him to the streets with the Queen 4 suited call. I like it.
Yeah, he's
Here we
in
go.
there.
So I imagine now he's looking to apply some pressure. I would expect him to bet here. Even though he's got nothing. I mean, that's kind of why you're playing this type of hand, right? But guess not. Guess he'll.
Yeah. Jack, 8 of hearts, a lot of hands kind of there. Yeah, no backdoor really, other than the straight, and just sort of decided that this was maybe a little too ambitious to get carried away here. As it stands, king 7 suited now, not going to be going anywhere with the pair and the king high flush draw, though. Maybe delayed c bet, I doubt it. Possible. Queen 4. Oh wow, hello.
Oh, there it
You
is.
do it that way, the hard way.
He's gonna be mad. He has to show it down now too. Well, Martin could potentially blow him off, but I imagine this is just gonna go check, 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 and Binder's gonna have to flip over the Queen 4.
That's all right. Can use it to his advantage, right? He's like, hey,
Yeah,
look,
there you go.
I'm playing everything. I'm in there. Don't open light. I'm going to the streets. I'm
Maybe I'll
playing.
go for a thin value bet and keep it keep it a secret, at least for a little while. There it is.
Yeah, all right. That's gonna likely do it. King 7 does have the 7.
Yeah, he could call. I mean, this is a very tough call. So many things have gotten there at this point. You're basically just hoping he has ace 4 of clubs or something that's bluffing, but
Wheels spinning. He's a little just frustrating, right? You see that flop, king high, heart draw, turn the 7s, checked all around. It does almost feel a little bit too annoying that somehow the queen on the river that's a non-heart is what has beat you. But again, makes a good decision. Pedro Neves gets out of the way. B Binder, 35 mil. Pablo, 30 mil. 5-handed poker. Over 1,700 watching. Appreciate you guys and girls out there. Let us know where you're watching from in the world. International final table, although we do see a lot of Austrian flags. Again, there's residence, there's where you're born, there's where you're living, there's all these different things, but they have to have a flag, and Austria and Brazil represented yet again here. A couple real hands. Deuce is a nice hand to close the action. Maybe go set mining with a deuce. There we have it.
There
Sets
we
have been
go.
prevalent today, Seth. We've seen a lot of flop sets.
It's
Or
at
river.
least 3 already, right?
Yeah. So the river
Pretty
eight,
wild for an
7,
hour and a half of footage.
an hour. We're on 1 hour on the
An hour.
dot. The show went live. Yeah, it's a lot of sets.
Unfortunately for him, probably not going to get much value here. Just brick city for the other 2 hands.
That's up there, right? In poker, playing live poker, getting a big stack, being deep, being a final table, but flopping a set, multi-way pot for huge money is just it's exciting. But
That'll get you going.
that is all you can really ask for. And there you see 611 guaranteed, 5 left, but a lot to play for. 1.2 million up for grabs still. No deal making available. GG Million's pretty natural. What do you think about that online? Do you like to have the option to deal, or do you think that this is just how it should be, where play for it all?
I think this is cool. I think with this GG Millions leaderboard where, you have this ranking system of all the cashes and all the wins, I think that, having no chops makes it a little bit more exciting and more Premier League like.
For sure. I agree with that. It is nice. It's nice to have that cool to chop sometimes, but it's nice to have the actual one where it's just pure, and what it is what you get, and the results are how they are. But of course, to a winner today. This is from Sunday, and actually a 2-week special of running series. So this is why it's so much more than normal. Every Tuesday though, same time, same place, we do play to a winner, and a lot of the same names competing each week. And here we will see Roman with the deuce 10 take it down. Lines are up to 2-4. You can see 19 hands every 20 it goes up. That is currently what we see, as we have a king 5 off for the 2 chip leaders. Does defend. You like ever a 3-bet there versus like with this type of big little separated on this, or not against under the gun raise 5-handed?
Yeah, a little too weak of a hand. I think you can throw out some kind of bullshit 3-bet here, but I don't think King 5 is the hand to do it with. I think you want to have like an ace 9, ace 8, maybe like a low suited connector. Just have a little bit more playability or better blocker value.
Yeah. And we see a bet and a call. Jack Queen high.
Binder led the flop. Is that what happened?
Yeah, 5-12 got called. Jack Queen obviously up to know some ill will intentions floating, even though he's got the queen high. I mean, I guess he does beat a variety of hands still, like in his mind, right? 9-10, 6-9, other Jack 10, but he is going to just still check back, and the 5 paired. And this run out is not great if you thought Queen Jack could be good.
Yeah, this is as bad as run out as he can ask for.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating because both players were bluffing. The King 5 just took a stab, hit the random 5, was actually ahead the whole way. And Pablo, I think, has played. I don't know if there's much you can try to accomplish here.
Can try to bluff it, but I think we're likely to see a check. But I mean, Pablo does have very little showdown value and might just want to take the pot down, and Binder has shown some weakness, so why not? See if he can find another sick call.
Yeah, that's why poker's great. This is like, call with the worst hand, then by the river you have a check back and you decide to go for it, and it might work exactly half pot as B Binder. He's been right, man. Spidey sense is on. That's what impresses me the most at this level, is like the amount of times where it's, whether it's a value bet, it's folded correctly or called correctly. These guys just get it right so often.
Yep. This is a tough one though, but he does have some really good things working for him here, particularly not having a jack or a 10 in his hand. Pablo's most likely bluff here is Jack 10. So
I guess, and at the same time, Pablo's not probably bluffing the diamonds, right, at this stage in this board, in this particular case.
Yeah, that's like one of the main reasons why I would have liked to not bluff if I was Pablo, because he has a diamond in his hand. Very nicely done though. But when he has a diamond in his hand, it means that Binder is more likely to have had a hand like Queen Jack of diamonds himself, so it's a little less efficient as a bluff. But hey, he got it done. He got it through.
There's a pretty looking hand. 9-10 suited though in the small blinds. What are your factors with like a queen 10 off? We saw Pablo in the small blind call. We see a the 3-bet here. Like, what are you looking at when you decide to make a little bit of a loose play, either a 3-bet or call in the small blind? What is it? Your opponent's ability, skill level, stage of the tournament? What are some of the factors you look at when you maybe open up the belt a little bit on the small blind?
So for Binder there, I think he chose a really good hand to 3-bet. They're 50 some big blinds deep, so there's going to be some post flop play here. So having a hand that flops as good as 10-9 suited is great. And then he also has the card removal working for him where he gets a lot of better hands to fold. A hand like Queen 10 off. We saw him fold Ace 9 off, King 10 off. All these offsuit hands that dominate you, you're getting them to fold them out. And then you're really live versus the range that does continue versus your 3-bet. So that was just a sweet hand decision there.
It's going to work. 7-10 off, 7-10 split does outflop the ace-6 of Martin. One of the reasons of the ace-6 to 3-bet potentially
Sticky.
free one of these is you just get a lot of tough flops, whether you're ahead or not. And here we see ace-6 get outflopped and then make top pair on the turn. 10-7 now has ace-6 in a world of hurt. He'd be drawing to an 8. The gut shot, they would not make the nut side of that straight. So yeah, this hand's probably gonna be over. Sure, quickly.
Yep.
What about the ace-6 3-bet there? Maybe instead of calling.
I think that would be a great choice. Yeah, I think that's a very, very good play for like the reasons you said. You have great removal. The post flop play really stinks.
Binder back into the
good
chip
spot here.
lead, and Martin going for the limp 10-7, just a little too nice of a check backhand. I guess it's close, but yeah, he does check back, right? Wants to not get check crazed, and pretty boring flop for kings, although 10-7 just completely misses as well. And Martin shouldn't be too afraid of an ace here. Don't think he would be. What percent of aces does Roman check back, if any, there? Like some in this spot?
I think more than it might appear on the surface. When he has a lot of kind of medium good aces, there are hands that don't play great versus a limp 3-bet. So if he has like ace 9, ace 8 off, I think these hands are very likely to check.
Well, Martin has almost the stone cold nuts as played, especially the check bet flop check turn ace, now kings, and again could go probably pretty big. Hope your opponent hits a random jack or a 6 or a deuce has somehow, but nope, Roman not interested. Kings take it down.
Yep.
And we really haven't seen a lot of coolers. We haven't seen like aces to queens or too much. We did see a king queen kind of light get in early versus the queens, and other than that, I don't think we've had really any nasty coolers. Couple flips, couple fair fights, but not any super cold decks thus far.
Yeah, not so far. Most of the big pre-flop hands we've just seen were either the ace king versus jacks or that ballsy 4-bet shove with the king queen suited.
Yep. Well, Binder's going down the path here with not a lot of good outcomes as the turn is a 6. And
let's see. I mean, great spot for him to apply pressure. I'd like to see him pot it. And I mean, Pedro's not going anywhere yet versus a big bet. So let's see. This is another one of those potential spots of who's going to win the game of chicken. Let's see if it plays out. I mean, just a great turn for Binder to barrel because Pedro doesn't defend 10-6 off or 6 deuce off, maybe not even ace 6 off. So I love this out of Binder. Here we go. Let's see what the river gets. Pretty interesting one there. Because some bluffs complete, but Pedro blocks the king jack straight. So, I mean, I think we should see an all in and a call. I hope we do. Like Binder should go all in. I mean, he's got the hand for it. There it is. Can Pedro do it?
They say think long, think wrong. Let's see, maybe Pedro just doesn't snap it off. We might see some clock burned here. This is certainly a candidate for hand of the day. Big grown man poker going on here. Ace Jack, like again, you have such a nice looking hand. At the end of the day, it's one pair, and you know this is a polarizing spot. You're either dead or way ahead, and this is for all the cookies. Yeah.
This is a nasty, nasty spot for Pedro. This pot is huge. It is worth a lot of money. I wouldn't mind if he took 9 minutes out of his clock here to make a decision. This is a 6-6 spot.
30 million. He will effectively be chip leader, right? 9.6 times 2, 19.2 plus 20, held like 28 mil. So
he'll be just behind Pablo.
Yeah, this is for a lot of Sherbert. See if his name's Herbert today. If he can make it.
The hand of the day for sure.
And what do you think, guys, girls at home? 1 call, 2 fold. What does he do? Maybe this is the time if you have to use a restroom, go and do it. You might come back. I think Seth is right. This could be a lot of clock. This is one where you're doing some spiritual stuff. You're closing your eyes. You're meditating. You're doing all kinds of things that are just like flipping coins. It's pretty close because you're going to get shown a loser a lot. That hurts. But when you're now down to 9.6 if you fold too, which is tough. That's sort of like maybe one of the reasons if you're close to think about it, but to go. But what are you doing here, Seth? Obviously, we see the cards. Talk me through the hand if you're Pedro.
Yeah, okay. So if I'm Pedro, the first thing that sticks out is what I said at the start. You have a good bluff catcher. You block the king jack value, you unblock the king suited 8 or king X suited bluffs and the low pairs that are going to bluff this line. You also have the jack of clubs, which is good because Binder is much more likely to give up with a hand like jack 9 of clubs because he has bad removal to bluff the river. So there it is.
Right. There it is. Didn't use too much. Pedro makes a great call. You said you picked him partly for his ability to do stuff like that. There it is. 28 mil, a healthy second. What a moment for Binder, though, also showing us that he is mixing it up, playing pots and tangoing. He still is in third, but it's very tight between Binder, Finger, and Roman, and really tight all around. 30 to 19-4. That's what we have to separate the 5. So this is wide open. I hope you're enjoying at home. Let us know where you're watching from. I didn't have time to even let you guys choose what you thought he was going to do. I didn't know. I thought he would call, but again, man, you can't blame him. You could see like there's decent percent of time he's going to fold and reasons why.
Oh yeah.
Do it.
Oh yeah. You can't blame him at all, man. I mean, he has a bluff catcher. He does not beat a value bet. So that guy's putting him in and you know, that pot right there is probably worth $900,000 in real money. So he's facing a bet that's, you know, effectively something like $300,000 right in the face on the river. So it might, you know, I see people in the chat saying easy call, but buddy, when you're facing $300,000 to the face, you might not think so clearly. But yeah, great job by Pablo. Follows through on a really tough one. Binder as well, you know, he pulled the trigger in a big spot for him. That was very impressive out of both of these guys.
Tell you what, I'm feeling safe in the booth over here. This is some big decisions, big time stuff. And you know, those are ones where again, you get them right. You know, you call on your right, could be for all the marbles that could end up be taking 1.8 versus 600. And then when you're wrong, you know, you get to look around and think about, man, what if, or what could I have done or why? But you, again, made good decisions, and always great to see great bluffs, but then great calls when it's just an all around great hand. And that was one of those that we will see. I want to remind you guys and girls that the highlights, I do put these up on my Jeff Gross Poker YouTube page. So if you aren't able to see the whole final table, you want to go back and relive it, we do have like a usually 6 to 10 minute video with the knockout hands and the places. So pretty cool. That's been going on for a while. We're trying to catch those up as well. So that is something to check out. But there's nothing quite like being in the moment, right, Seth? To watch it, to be here, to see the timing, to feel it, you know, the whole thing, and the flow of the tournament. You get to see the highs and lows, people that come back, and it's not quite the same as just getting to see a all in and a call. But this is again, we get to watch that through here today.
Yeah, you're right, man. It feels like we're going on the ride with them. You can kind of feel what they might be feeling at the same time. You're just riding the roller coaster with them. So there's nothing quite like being there live.
Yeah, for sure. And even again, for yourself, someone who plays these stakes, plays these type of final tables for this amount of money regularly, it is nice to kind of be in the flow in the game and kind of predict what you think is going to happen. Of course, with the whole card up, there's a bias and you get some extra cards and stuff, but it is I think a good way to kind of learn and study and prepare. And also the fact that you will play with some of these guys probably in the next month, right? Live, several of these guys.
Yep. Yeah, love seeing it. Love, and I mean, I'm just a poker fan too, you know. So this is a huge final table where I get to see all these cards. I get to try to feel what these guys are feeling and predict what they're doing. Like I'm loving it just as much as the viewers are.
For sure. Well, already 170 plus thumbs up. Appreciate that. It's 10%, 1,800 watcher. And I'll invite you guys to hit that retweet, get involved for the $100. That's link there, Jeff Gross Poker on Twitter. And again, we'll have a $1,500 ticket. We'll queue that up for a giveaway. You must be subscribed, must hit the thumbs up. Only 10%. We can at least get to 20 guys and girls. I don't know, Seth might not even on the YouTube have hit the thumbs up. We need that. We want that. Get engaged. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're having fun. New graphics overlay, new season 2025. This is one of 2 seasons. We're going to cut it off around the World Series main event. And then there will be some giveaways for the audience, some pretty amazing giveaways. I know I'm teasing you guys, but I'm telling you, I've seen it. I know it's happening. Going to be epic giveaways for you. So make sure you're watching, stay tuned, be involved. And I think the players as well at the leaderboard, we're going to have some cool stuff. And as you saw that reset, we're only on our 5th final table of this 2025 year, man. It's crazy. Years are going by. Seth, you're a dad now, right? How many? You have one, two kids, is it? Or
Just one 4-year-old.
4-year-old. Okay.
You got two?
Yes, two, 5 and almost 2, 5.5 and 2, almost 2. Yeah, it's fun. A lot of that 4-year-old age, man. There's nothing. It really is fun. It's a handful though, right? One is a lot in itself.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting to that age where it's really, really fun to hang out with him. I'm loving every minute.
Yeah, no, for sure. It is great, but it also changes a little bit with tournaments and travel and how it all works, right? And you'll be in kindergarten, I guess, soon too. It's things change quick. You want more or TBD?
Yeah, we'd like to do at least one more. We'll see how it goes.
You have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I had 2 older brothers. I got my ass kicked a lot when I was a kid.
Nice. I'm only child. I think it is nice to have a sibling for sure. I miss that I didn't have that, but that definitely 2 boys together is crazy. I know Jason. I was just catching up with him and same thing. I just remember being at Burning Man with him for a week as we had a crazy week, and then I met my wife there, and it's just like we were running around the desert being wild, and then now 2 kids each, and it's kind of crazy, right? The times change. It's different than it used to be. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, those were good times, but we're different priorities nowadays, you know. I mean,
Sure.
I'd still wouldn't mind doing stuff like that, but being at home playing around with the kids is where I want to be right now.
Yeah, me too. No, for sure. It's all again pockets of life. And Pedro here with the ace deuce thinking, hey, I do beat hands. I have ace high. It is a
Yeah,
hand where
not the worst bluff catcher, you know. I mean, the 6, 7, 8 cards are the board or the cards that Roman's going to be bluffing with. So he has a nice fine removal there. He doesn't have to worry too much about deuce 3 because Roman doesn't defend deuce 3 offsuit. So good tank, made a good fold though.
Yeah, binder 4:30 on the clock. Everyone else very healthy with that chess clock. Again, if you hit that clock, you're not eliminated. You just have 5 seconds per street to act. So that is something that does come into play. I've seen some epic heads up battles where someone doesn't have a clock or both a few times where that's even happened. Although today seems like that is going to be unlikely to be the case. And we will be up here in 9 hands to a new blind level, currently 200K, 400K. You can see it's not big blind ante. It is every player ante, a part of the big blind. So what's that? 250. We're 5-handed, so 50 a man in the middle. 200K, 400K. There as 4s and king 9 suited. Pedro gonna give it up. Very even stacks.
Very
29
even.
all the way to 19 million, just wide open. You would reprice this in the client for the in-game betting odds, and it would be tight. This is not a lot to give between these players. And again, a lot of experience, household names here. Guys have been around for a long time.
I like Roman in this distribution. I think I think you're pretty well set up. I think he's the type of guy who really thrives in this type of situation. So really look out for him to make a run at this.
Well, King Queen top pair 26 million. Again, it's an uncanny even stacked final table. I'd say almost to the point where it's literally just kind of tightening up. I mean, if you have Pablo here and Martin exchanged some chips, we'd all be about even. It's just that close. 6-8 suited here. And we're gonna see a flat. Pablo's showing us some small blind, some just mixing it up, willing to get in there.
Loose small blind pay. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you know what each like what you're repping there, right? You have some ability to really turn some hands, maybe get a little more some bluffs in, some semi bluffs, or you're in there kind of repping like more like fives or eights you'd have here. But if you have 6-8 suited and you're willing to kind of mix it up and put pressure in spots, like you can put some people in a tough position playing hands that they wouldn't expect, right? You can kind of
Yeah,
start
this
more
is a
creative.
perfect example of that. I'm really interested to see if he goes for the check raise here because this is kind of one of there it is. I love this. Yeah, this is just what these type of hands do well from the small blind here is they kind of match your sets, so you get to work with some flop check raises, some turn barrels, and end up playing like a very efficient bluff in a big pot. So that was very good stuff from Pablo there.
Yeah, yeah,
And I mean,
exactly.
Roman obviously just has a totally fine play. Doesn't need to fight back with just nothing, queen 10 high. But yeah, if Roman's sitting there with ace 10 on that board, that ace 8-5, it's like, well, I'm already in a bluff catching situation. So is he gonna go for it?
Sure. Yeah, I think that was a perfect illustration of that. The only difference would have been if we got to see the next step of it. If Roman did have ace 10, ace jack, how does that proceed and play out? But as played, Pablo getting a function of that exact spot where you get to just kind of he check raise deny equity. Actually, just had a best hand and did win a
Yep.
nice pot. 30 million on the dot. 20, 18, 25, 26, 10 million separating
Here we
everywhere. It's
go.
just completely wide open. And here we have Roman with the top pair and the best key card. We saw him get aggressive before. This is a little different though. Here he actually has top pair, not just the key blocker. And Pedro does pair the 10. Ooh.
Oh yeah, we're likely to see a big bet and a call here, I think. Roman could check. I mean, he does unblock like the 7-9, Jack 9, Jack 7 type of hands that Pedro can choose to bluff the river with, but I think it's more likely we're just gonna go ahead and see a big bet. That's not what happened. Yeah, that's like no, I mean fine, like sure. I wouldn't have bet small because like when you bet one big blind there, the reason you do that is so 10 raises you. And I just didn't think that was gonna happen. Um, But yeah, he insured a call, so won a nice pot. I would have preferred to see some kind of big bet, but that's just me.
Yeah, we're just 1.45 million chip pot from Pablo to Martin, and we are literally stock even across the board. It would just this is getting again a bit unique in this type of five-handed to be this close.
Huge stakes too. I mean, this is an outrageously high stakes game right now. We're playing five-handed. Fifth place gets 600,000. First gets 1.8. These guys stacks are probably each worth 1.1, 1.2 million. So we're just
It's
playing some
exactly right.
crazy high stakes poker right now.
Yeah, it's around 5.5 in the prize pool available right now. 3.1, 4.1, 4.8, 5.4. Yeah, 5.5. So exactly right in that.
5.5 distributed between these five guys. We got an average of 1.1 million sitting in front of each of these guys playing 70, 50 plus big blinds deep.
What would be your guess with these players in this spot when you see that it's 600, 1.8, again, 10K buy-in. So how often do these situations come up for this type of, yeah, some of them play 25Ks, 50Ks, 100Ks, 250Ks, right? So they're playing the biggest and the money. But for a 10K, what would you anticipate if you could just click that button, see the deal, what's available? How willing do you think most of these players would be? Okay, hey, everyone here kind of knows what they're doing. This is a 10K buy-in. We can all lock up like a million-ish or so. What would be your guess out of the five? How many would be happy to do that, and how many would just say, "Nah, we're rolling it." I'm. There's ego in poker. There's also again your net worth and whatever. We're talking a lot of BTC. We're talking a lot of opportunity from a 10K buy-in. What's your prediction out of the? You don't have to name names, but out of the five, who is like, yeah, let's just deal, chop it up, and how many would say, no, I want to roll it?
I bet at least two of these guys would want to just run it, which, a lot of that too is like kind of who's doing well lately. A lot of people, when they're winning, playing with confidence, they're just like, you know what, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling loose. I think I'm playing great. I'm just gonna try to apply pressure because I'm feeling it. Uh, so they're just not willing to chop, which is absolutely a real thing. It's nothing against them. So I would be, surprised if you got all five guys to be like, yeah, let's chop. There's got to be, these are all pros. I mean, Binder, am kind of assuming that maybe he's not, but we got a lot of guys who locking up a 1.1 mil payday is pretty good for anybody's year for a 10K buy-in.
Sure. Yeah, nice start. Super Bowl just happened early on. It's a nice big kick. Again, we say it's all one long game, but it does feel good. You kind of break it up by year calendar. You start out with a nice score. You kind of put yourself in a position, maybe take a few more shots, get some confidence, go around to some stops you might not, or buying for a little higher amount than you were. Also, it just becomes easier to sell. You have results, right? You want to get in bigger things. People. It's just how it is, right? Results oriented. It doesn't matter. No one cares. You lost kings to ace deuce off or whatever. They want to see, oh yeah, you can get it done. You can win. You can have big scores, and it's exciting, right? It is nice to get a win and so many buy-ins for a 10K here for grabs. Top three going to get 100 buy-ins plus as it stands. So this is again wide open. And we are, again, just sort of, the chips just seem to keep tightening up. No one's really stepping away. And this isn't one of those ones where someone's just going to get to shove and put a lot of pressure. We got to play poker here. Going to go to the streets, and this is going to be a battle.
Yeah, what you said there is pretty cool too. And one of the kind of fun things about tournament poker is like if you win this tournament compared to getting fifth, like that opens up some doors for you for the next 6 months to a year that might not have opened otherwise. So there's a lot more riding on this than just this direct payout, And
Yeah.
confidence from investors that are now up a bunch of money on you that now are willing to fire on you again. It can do big things for your career. So it's not just this linear more money means more money. It's more than just that.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Roman's someone a good example who did have that 4 million plus score, has, gets it. You're playing 25K. It's next thing you know, you're playing 500Ks or 250K when you're in there. And then the heater really comes. You start, bink one or two of those. And that's what's so funny in poker over the years too. Like back when Poker Stars back in the day, when it was like, they were signing everyone or based on your live results and how it went. Things have shifted on sort of how they do ambassadors or what content and things. But it is funny, like Mercier just stands out to me. Someone that like got hot early, like early on in what tournaments was winning everything. You win a couple flips or cooler someone or make a great call and you just catapult your where you're at versus like there's guys that are or girls that are playing great, right? That lose a flip or get a bad beat and didn't get that score, that chance early. It can really kind of dictate where you go and how things shake up for you. So it's again, poker's like a metaphor for life in a very fast area. You get to deal with success and failure. You get to see how people handle winning, how they handle losing, how they rebound, how you deal with adversity, how you deal with other people's success. I just think that's what's the coolest part about it, is you get all these sort of life lessons in a bottle, right? Quickly. That just kind of it happened, right? It's something people could take years or a decade or a lifetime to learn. You might get in, a year or two of playing tournaments for a living. You get to learn a lot fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And people either survive in that environment or they don't. Some people winning a bunch of money really quickly at poker can be a horrible thing for them because they start to get delusional about what the rest of their life should look like. But I think we got a mystery hand here.
Yeah, we do. We'll let you drive Queen 7 suited open. And
right.
Let's see, Roman.
Let's see what we got here.
Going to be at least calling. Mystery hand.
40,
There's a
42 big
call.
blinds.
All right. Middle weak top, kind of weak top pair. Check two. Tell me.
I would check back if I was Pedro. Find a bet, but it's a hand that hates to get check raised. It's a board that's good to see bet, but you're under a lot of ICM pressure to not play huge hands against each other. So I would like to see a check from Pedro. So if Roman on the flop, I think Roman's most likely hand is going to be King 10, Ace 10. So 10-9 as well. So, ooh, we don't have a royal flush, do we? We must have a royal flush. I'm going to say Roman's got King of Spades, 10 of clubs, calling it royal flush.
To be a mystery hand at this run out with check and this kind of a boring river, right? Like it's like Queen 7 really doesn't have much but a hero. I mean, I'm trying to think of a hand you beat on that is now that called the flop. But either way, let's see if Roman's gonna likely bet Queen 7.
See if we got about 2 million with that royal flush.
1.2, and just wondering, was Pedro turning his hand into a bluff? I mean, what do we got here? This can't be, is he hero calling? This is not that much fireworks at the moment on the hand, unless we see Pedro just stuff it upstairs for 5.2. just to check the temperature. Let's see what we got here.
It would be a heroic play.
But you would anticipate fold or call, and probably fold him almost always, right? Like never. I mean,
I would
raise.
anticipate fold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I guess he has like kind of okay removal towards like the royal flush, the queen 10. He blocks the queen 10. The 10-7's not very good. Or the 7's not very good because 10-7 with the 10 of clubs is not in there.
Wow. Okay.
Jack 5.
That's worthy.
All right.
Worthy of a hand there that does just go ahead and call with the queen.
Nice bet.
Club,
Nice call.
moving a lot of things. Great hand. Pedro, man, playing
All right.
eighth today too. There you go. That is above
He's
the
playing
rim.
above the rim today. That's good stuff.
How are we looking on our wager? I have Roman and Pablo, right? And you've got the other three now?
I got Pedro, Binder, and Martin.
Yep. So you are about 70 million to 45. Yeah. Little advantage here. Chip leader. Is Pedro feeling it now? Is this the squeeze? Is this momentum squeeze? Ace nine off. There it is.
Yeah, good hand for it too. Martin should call. Back raising all in isn't a crazy idea either, but I definitely think it's too much hand to fold. I would expect to see a call here.
You start out with sort of a pot control trap-ish, not trap, but like a good hand you're happy with. And now all of a sudden you get in a spot where you realize you're playing for a huge moment, right? You could either be behind somehow, your guy could be squeezing ace five or ace nine and put you in a tight. Nice to have the nut flush draw. This is quite a good situation for Martin. He's not really going anywhere, and he happens to have the best hand with someone who's telling a story that's in no man's land. So this is sort of the dream situation at the moment.
Yeah, Pedro kind of chooses a strange size here. I would have gone bigger.
Well,
If you think about Martin's range, like you said, it's like very condensed. It has a lot of pocket pairs and good suited hands in it. So when you bet 10% pot, like you're basically saying, I hope he has Jack 10 of hearts, which might not even fold. So I would have gone something bigger, maybe like 35, 40% pot, try to get him to fold ace Jack of hearts. But yeah, it looks like he's trying to make it into some kind of multi-street game or get a cheap showdown versus a handy beats, a king queen suited or something.
well,
But
what I
he's
say,
just
a way to find a way to get more even in stacks. If it doesn't go give up win, we got Martin at 26, Roman now at 18, but everyone 24, 26, 26, 27 it would be, and then Roman with 18 if this no more chips come in the middle for Pedro here. So there it is. Martin going to get himself into the conversation, and no way to be losing this pot as played here as he does improve to the nut flush, and now Pedro is in a world where he wants to just be a hero. Nope, not
I
happening.
mean, he just showed it to us with the queen seven of diamonds. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, it's not impossible, like Martin has king queen, hand like 4-5 suited potentially, ace five suited. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he can get called by ace high here.
Right. I guess to the point where there's not a lot of nut flush. What the question is, what would he do with like ace? I guess what is it? Nut flush he would have that checks back on the turn as played. There's not many. Maybe just thinking like, okay, well that is certainly gonna end
That'll
it.
end it.
Okay, well, interesting. Literally 26, 26, 26, 23, 18. This is almost like a shootout. It's like we're at a shootout final
Yeah,
five.
exactly.
This is
It's 50 big blind shootout. Let's do it.
be interesting dynamic. We are just over an hour and a half in. Again, the Jeff Gross Poker Twitter guys, that is $100 cash giveaway. Can go ahead and hit retweet. Guess who you think's going to win? I'll pick a winner on that, and then we have a $1,500 ticket. Once we get down to 4, so when we lose one more player, I'll cue the 50, and then we'll do 100. So you must be subscribed, must hit the thumbs up, and wish you luck. We saw my man Aziz at Marcelo was in Bahamas, took a $0 free roll to 4.6 million, taking second there at that special 25K super million. in Bahamas. So who imagine we could do a 50 or 100. How was your Seth? We're gonna do the pod live, but with you on mine, I haven't really got to ask some of these things that the standard poker dream questions. Did you start out? How was your early on? Did you do a free roll deposit? How did you get in? What year did you start playing?
I started playing with a shared bankroll with my brother back in like 2007. We had about 50 bucks
Nice.
and yep, played $1 tournaments, played, 5 cent, 10 cent, just played micros and slowly built it up and, never deposited more than that. So
Um,
yeah, it was a zero to run it up for me.
that's the dream. That's what I'm saying. It's you never know. A little 50 or 100 can go a long way, and poker's different,
Absolutely.
climate's different, but it is also prevalent new people. Seems like it's a good place. Numbers online live are good, and again, there's new variations, mystery bounties, knockouts, this, that. There's so many different forms of poker, mixed games, PLO, Hold'em. I don't think Hold'em tournaments are going anywhere. We see that with the live stops for sure, kind of across the board. There seems like it's very healthy position the game is. People are getting better, but there's also a lot of new people coming in, and it's also just like again, any given day, if you're on your game, good things can happen.
100%. There's no shortage of ways to make it in poker. These live tournaments, I mean, every single tournament is hitting records, I feel like.
Yeah, in a good place. 6-7, nice flop, double gutter, sneaky, king 10 off, Pablo with the best hand, but going down a path of uncertainty if you were to call, try to see what's happening. Nice hand. Martin all of a sudden 27 million. I think he is essentially tied there with Pablo about, but again, wide open, very close, everybody. Who's your prediction right now? Forget about our picks, who you win to start today. You got to pick a winner this second. Who do you like to win this right as it stands?
I'm loving how Pedro's feeling it. I'm liking Pedro to win.
Yeah, he seems like he's definitely willing and able. Has a good
Yeah,
little
playing with a
approach.
lot of confidence. He's not scared. He's not going to get run over. He's a guy who has been put to the test in a gigantic pot and made a good, tough call. So I'm rolling with
Yeah,
him.
fourth on the all-time Portugal list, 3.6 million. Does have a $1.1 million score. Javiera there, number one with 12 million in earnings. Rui, Neves, Ferreira, and Pedro Marquez ahead of him. But again, looks like a younger guy, right? He's don't know him well, but
Yep.
one of those guys kind of up and coming and battling. This is an epic, epic FT today. This is again gonna be to a winner. So no deal making. We will play this out.
Crazy start to this one. We got out of the gates hot. It makes sense that we're deep. Nowadays, we had a lot of stacks getting all in that first 30, 40 minutes.
Yep. Are you an NBA fan, Seth? Are you watching NFL, NBA, or what's your sport of choice?
Huge NFL and college football. NBA, I mean, not so much NBA and a little bit of
Yeah.
baseball, but yeah, the long night of off-season football just started, so that was sad.
It is a long time, right? I mean, what we're talking, February. Even man, guys get a lot of break because most teams are done by January, right around there. So they get all of January, February, March, April, May. I guess preseason for them starts, but still, it's a pretty good break. And yeah, for a
Yep.
fan, it's a while. Sports, this is sort of the lull right now, right? But I guess March Madness and
Yeah,
stuff
that's the
comes out.
next up. Regular
Yeah,
season NBA is kind of whatever.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
March
Playoffs are
Madness
great.
will be fun. Yeah, playoffs are amazing. The NBA is cool right now too. There's so many good teams.
Yeah, this change right now. Some of these trades are making a lot of powerhouse kind of duos or trios that are exciting. It should be good here as we see Ace Jack suited fours in the lead. Ace Jack suited feels like the winner on this hand though. Going to have opportunities to just put pressure. Fours a little bit of a big ask, especially for that size to be sticking around.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Super Bowl was pretty boring, man. I got to say, I'm a Lions fan. We grew up in Michigan. I love the Ravens. Hoping one of them made it. Bills versus Lions would have been sweet. See someone who never got there, but to see that KC Philly and just like absolute complete blood, 24-0 at half. I mean, that was a crazy. Like that was really wildly boring Super Bowl. Like it
Yeah,
just never had a chance to be exciting.
total snooze fest. I mean, it looked like the Eagles just really out schemed them and just had Chiefs had no answer for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I will say I was before in the afternoon before I was around. I kind of just like had up the TV on a little, and I was looking. They had Mahomes on the sideline. This must have been 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern or something. And he looked tired. He just looked like out of it a bit, honestly. Like he just seemed like he maybe didn't have a good night's sleep or two. And I can imagine it's hard to fall asleep before a Super Bowl, but it just seemed like he just seemed a bit dazed and like, yeah, they just weren't clicking, man. They had that 3rd and long, that penalty was like 3rd and 25 when they were down 10-0, and they were just kind of out of it. It just seemed like they were making a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes, and it just seemed kind of that's how it goes, though, right? It's like poker. You come into a final table, you want to be rested, you want to have things click, get going. If you kind of it doesn't go the right way, it's sort of hard to recover if you don't kind of keep yourself assertive, even if how you come into pots. Are you raising? Are you 3-betting? Are you just calling? It's again, it's a mental, it's preparation, and you want to come in and have a good game plan, but it's any given day, right? It's no guarantee. I'm sure you've been to final tables where you're top 3 and you're like crushing, you're ready to go, and just doesn't get it going, or you're to the 9th or 8th stack and you just kind of shoot up and win it. It's interesting, right? There's a lot of things you can't control, but at the end of the day, you've seen it all. I mean, how many you probably played? How many live final tables do you think you've played?
Oh man, that's
100 more? Ooh, nice pop.
nice call by Pablo there. Yeah.
Okay,
That's it. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with that one. I'd have to look at Hindenmob and see how many. Like, I have 100. Yeah, sure, it sounds good. But yeah, like you're saying, it's just so many of the things that happen early on in the final table are going to influence how you're feeling, and if you win a few pots early on, whether they're medium, small, maybe you want to flip, maybe you get to value bet a strong hand. It really does set the tone for how your mindset is. And you have to be, it takes a lot of self-control to kind of keep yourself together if things are going bad, because it's an awful feeling. Like if you're coming in, I'll tell, when I was the first huge final table I ever played was Super High Roller Bowl Bahamas. This was like 2018, maybe 19. I had the chip lead at the final table. It was first of 8, I think. The tournament's like 5.5 million to win. It was gigantic. And the first hour of play, I lose a gigantic pot with 10s versus 9-8 suited on 10-7-6. And I was just spinning afterwards. This pot was probably worth $3 million in value, maybe 2.5, something like this. So it was just like all the energy I could muster to just keep myself focused, and that's just what you got to be prepared for. And I think it's a good exercise to go over some bad scenarios in your head before you do come into a final table and say, okay, this is how I'm going to handle it. This is what I'm going to think about. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a total mental game, and those that are good at it really have an edge.
Yeah, as you said, even a spot like that where you flop top set and you're just thinking about like, wow, this is it. This is my moment, and then all of a sudden you get shown somehow a spot where like never should have it or how it could be, and they cooler, and then you're just thinking like, wow, man, and yeah, it's easy. Got to recover fast, or else. And as we see again, things going to tighten up there. Martin Finger gives up King Jack 8-6 turns. The pair, which is good, 28 mil now, is good for our slight chip lead. Again, actually tied on the dot. Binder and Finger in the small, though, at the 9 deuce off, going to fold Pablo 25. Roman down to 15, but everyone else very much locked up here. 29 for Binder now. 250, 6 more hands. We're going to go up. So I think this next level, over the next 20 hands, we'll start seeing a little more movement, but still 3-6, a lot of chips for these guys. 40, 50 blinds at the 3-6 level even. So no one's super short.
Yeah, it'll drive some action, but when we get to, I think 4-8 will be if nobody, starts, if we don't see chips flying this next level, that 4-8 level should get them moving. And this is just kind of the nature of how ICM pressure works when a lot of stacks are even like this is you just don't see as much action. Everyone's, like I talked about earlier, a little bit more incentivized to cooperate and not give the EV to the players that aren't in the hand. So kind of par for the course when there's no big coolers going on.
Yeah, I mean, if assuming these guys all have 25 million right now, what would you say is the biggest factor to who gets to actually win? Like how much of it will be luck at this point, and how much skill or edge would you have in something like this with these type of guys? For these five, let's say, among across them, what would be your guess? Like who's like
Yeah, I mean,
percentage wise, out of 20%, let's say they all have 25 million this second. Like what's the biggest favorite? Don't give me a person or whatever, but like if it's 20 across the board, what could possibly of these five be the largest percent difference of ability to actually win? You know, is it 5%, 3%? Like go down, is it much? Like
I
for
would say
this?
probably single digits. These are all great players. It's going to be, they're all great players and they're all great players that aren't scared. So if for that number to be too big, or bigger than say single digits or maybe 10, 15%, you need, at least one or two of the players to really be chickens and them kind of being pretty hopeless to win gigantic pots, but nobody here is like that. So I wouldn't apply any big edge to anybody. Here we go. We could see some fireworks here.
Yeah. 8-8 king, jack queen, jack king, 10-8. This is pretty nice eight to have. 10 with the eight. Jack queen
And I
just
don't see Pablo or Pedro going anywhere on the flop versus the raise here. So we're gonna see a nice bloated pot going into the turn.
was it Binder that one time or was it Pedro? Pedro just called with that jack three off right on the turn when we saw that could have raised it
Yep.
up, and there it is the raise. And I mean if you're Pedro here, what goes through your mind? So you say not going anywhere. I mean, what you have the king, and there's just some errant bluffs, like king five isn't probably making this play, is it? So what are you putting on Binder's range here?
Yeah, so most of his area hands will just be good backdoor stuff. We're talking a jack nine of diamonds, a nine, seven of hearts. I mean, he
Yep.
can even get pretty nasty here and even do this with a hand like pocket twos. Like, I don't think that's a bad play. And like those pocket pairs have two outs to an enormous hand, and they have, oh wow,
Whoa. What on earth
look at
is
this.
Roman stepping out into outer space and right into the eight? I guess is in his mind, if no one has an eight, this is going to work. But like, man, he's got the eight, and this is not great for Roman. Also, does not have backdoors really. The jack queen off doesn't have jack queen suited, and Pedro thinking, what the heck? Okay, it's going to save him some money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it out of Roman. Like Binder could potentially do this out of the big blind with just a king. It's a situation where if he has king five suited or something, he kind of turns his hand face up by just calling the bet. So just going ahead and raising is uh is a fine play, but Roman's just
All right,
kind of running into it
all right.
here.
Put me in your binder's mind right now. What percent of the time are you like, man, this is amazing, I'm great, or what percent are you worried, like, wow, did I just get cooler to 8x something or whatever? Is that, I mean, is this you think he's gonna just click it on Roman, which is savage.
Yeah, it's a situation where if Roman has like a really great hand, like the only value hand this really makes sense for Roman to do with is aces, where he's trying to put in more money versus a king. Because if Roman has trips or kings full, wow, he called. Oh, don't tell me he gets there. This will be, oh, he can't. He's dead. He's dead. But yeah, this is they're just playing a game of chicken here. But yeah,
Binder might
getting
think when he gets called, is there a world where Binder's like, wow, I might have needed this 10?
yeah, for sure. I mean, he might think he's dead here versus king eight or kings. Um,
This seems crazy to lead. I guess, yeah, at this point he puts him on the eight, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get he's probably putting him on aces, is what aces or ace king.
This is a nutty hand all around.
This is
Roman,
very nutty. This is
what
a
point
very
do you
nutty
just have to,
hand.
and now you turn open ended actually. I mean, how many levels can you go? Now you're gonna call and float and like try to like, oh my god, he does. And this is what the heck is this run
Now
out?
what? Oh
This
my
is
God, now what?
crazy. So, maybe Binder thinks he's got kings full, right? He's like, what could he have that he's calling me? And now the 8 comes, so he doesn't have the other 8. I have the nuts now, and this is absolutely epically crazy. And I guess is there a world to check it or no? Because like what bluffs? You never can put someone on this
Yeah.
kind of pair. So do you just think he has kings full? He's not going to fold anyway if you shove. Or so I don't know. What are you doing here? Do you
Yeah,
ever
and I
check?
mean, even if Roman has kings full, like Binder's been telling him this whole hand that he has an 8. So even if Roman has kings full on the river, he's just gonna check it back. If he can find a bluff here, this would be incredible.
This
I
hand
mean,
is just insane.
this is a wild, wild.
Oh my
God.
goodness, Roman, this guy, B Binder
Oh,
gets it done. This is a crazy hand. I was gonna say, I don't think Roman's checking, honestly, as played. It's that
holy
goofy.
shit.
If you get there as played, I mean, what a legendary hand and what a monster, man. Roman been on such a heater, another huge score. Of course, not what he wanted, but we're down to 4. We got giveaways coming, we got action, and Binder has got 46. He is now basically combined second and third or across the total. And that was quite a moment there. We are down to 4.
Clip
Wow.
that, put it in the highlight reel. Holy
Yeah, that's
shit.
you could do all kinds of things. Put that somewhere. That hand is insane. That is we're up to 233 on the thumbs up. Gonna cue the giveaways. 1900 watching. Seth Davies, Jeff Gross. We're playing to a winner, and we are playing big boy poker. Ladies, of course, very capable too, boys and girls. We are welcoming everyone, and we are having ourselves quite a day. This has been fun, and that was a spicy, spicy, spicy hand.
That's as spicy as it gets.
Yeah.
I mean, props to Roman. I mean, that is a ballsy, ballsy play. Like you're gonna be bluffing into quads sometimes, but I mean, he tried to get him to fold the king.
We're going to cue this giveaway. I'm going to wait a little bit as we're deeper. I don't need to do it this second. I don't want to have spamming everywhere. We're going to invite everyone to hit that thumbs up. That's the first part of the puzzle. We're going to give you a keyword. That'll be the second. It'll be a $50 giveaway first. And just please put it one time, twice max. Don't need to keep spamming. Got the team going to pick the winner. If you are just constantly spamming, not going to be eligible. And also my tweet, Jeff Gross Poker, $100 to give away cash. That is not a GG tick. That is eligible for send PayPal or crypto or something. You guys can go to get the link one more time. Seth saying he did it with 50 on a split bankroll. I did it. I don't remember. I can't remember specifically, but I was definitely a couple, small deposits back in the day. I used to do a lot of referral friends and bonuses and all that. But that was like way back in the day. Again, if you are starting in poker, just be careful. That's the one caveat. You don't want to sell the dream. Listen, Seth's playing 100Ks and 500Ks and all these things. And listen, I play high stakes cash and tournaments and stuff. It's fun, but again, it's important to start relative with what you're willing to risk low, right? You don't want to just like hop in, find it, watch on the internet, go to a casino or home game and start buying it for crazy amount of money. Also, now you have kid, right? So I have a family, wife. Like when I was 16, 15, 17, start playing, I'm starting with $50, $100, risking very little with no really, what's the word? Responsibilities or things, right? So that's all. I just think that's like the today's landscape of poker from 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 23 years ago is very different. At the same time, there's opportunities to come in and play and learn the game, but just, be careful. Start low, play sort of like, cents, 5 cents. You said you used to play 5 cent, 10 cent, or I was playing 25 cent, 50, play some $5, $2 tournaments, get acclimated and don't get frustrated because you want to start slow. The game is a lot of information out there on poker these days.
Yeah, and what I would say about that too is those days when, I was playing 5 cent, 10 cent, and $5 tournaments and all this stuff. I had just as much fun playing poker then as I do now playing 100Ks. It's obviously a great time being at this stage of my career, but back then it was so pure and just all enjoyment. So don't have this attitude like, oh, if I graduate to 1K tournaments or 10K tournaments or 100K tournaments, then it'll be fulfilling to me because the time coming up playing the low stakes were some of the best times I'll ever have, and I wouldn't trade them for anything.
Agreed. I completely agree. Those are some of the most fun. Is I even miss that. Going to the casino or going to play in a home game or having a couple table tournament at your house for $30, and it was like you make a day out of it and all that. It's just like the purest when you're first getting into it and learning, and it's just like a magical world. What's the longest session you ever played roughly? You play some like 30-hour, 50-hour cash sessions, anything crazy back in the day?
I had one online session that went 36 hours. That
Wow.
was on GG actually. We were playing. There was a stretch of time when we were playing multiple 25Ks every day on GG, and
I remember this. I know this. There's a couple of special guests, right? People were going crazy and it was going wild. And there's just like literally like someone being like 20 buy-ins or 30, 25K entries in a
oh yeah,
making
oh yeah,
million dollar tournaments for, yeah.
we were in for 500K in buy-ins every day, and one day we just everybody played for 2 days straight, and it was intense. It was intense.
That's
Those games
crazy.
went pretty well for me though. I made some good money.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's I've had a few long sessions live and online. It is wild, man. Phil Locke, shout out to Mr. Locke, who was the guest, one of my very close friends. He was on the show for the special edition. It was the main event where it's like 4 million to first call to action on here. And he has at the time had the record for the longest live poker session recorded Guinness record, which I believe was like 110 or 116 hours that he had to show a profit. And that was recorded. He had no caffeine, no drugs, nothing, no stimulants, had to take tests, and he did show a profit. And that was at the Bellagio. Actually, that was like when I was sort of getting to know him or getting to know him better. And I remember going there. I loved Antonio would go in there, was trying to bust him and play to ruin that. Imagine playing for 4 days and then you end up booking a loss and it doesn't count. But he beat that record. Ooh, 6 is full. This could be nice if Pedro starts getting out of line. But he did beat the record. And then he was not tired at all. It was sort of scary, right? He like realized he could keep going and going, and then he had to stop. But they did stop doing that record, I think, because of safety reasons. And there was like I'd have to look it up. Maybe someone in the audience could tell me, or I can chat GPT it. The longest Guinness record of staying awake. I think it was like 12 or 13 days, but they discontinued that because of obviously it's like that's some different stuff. I don't even know. You can't really test for that. Like that's just in a different world of wildness. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff.
There was this reminds me of a story. It was in one of the old poker books. Maybe there's the Professor and the Banker and the Suicide King. Do you remember that book? I think it
Yep,
was
yep,
about Andy Beal.
yep.
But there's a story in that book. I don't remember exactly who was involved in this heads up match, but apparently there was a heads up match where these two guys played for 4 days straight, and one of the guys was chain smoking the entire time. He used one match and apparently smoked like 3 cartons of cigarettes straight. And like he eventually left in an ambulance.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't remember that story, but that's pretty. I hear the flyovers here, Daytona 500 in the background, getting ready for it. There's some F-16s
Oh,
cruising over.
sick.
If you guys can hear that.
I love a flyover. Those get me fired up.
Yeah, that was man. Yeah, no, there's some poker's amazing. It's amazing characters, stories, and 9-10. I'll tell you what, Pedro could have himself
Here
a
we go.
nice
Here
situation. Yeah.
we got a little bit of a cooler. We'll see.
And gonna call pure turn ace 9 9-10. Pablo kind of
Man, I wasn't surprised to see Pedro getting all in by the river here. I would expect him to bet again pretty healthy, something like half pot. And I don't think Pablo's going anywhere yet.
holy man. I feel like they were over outside my window. You don't hear that? That
I
was
can hear it at
crazy.
all.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
That was so
those things are loud. We see them in Vegas sometimes. Vegas has the Air Force Base north of town, so you see some crazy planes flying around.
Pablo, tread lightly. This is a tough spot. Get check
That was
raised
a
and then check
very
here.
natural check back for Pablo. I think he should. I guess he's just going for it now. He's trying to get some value from a hand like 5-6, 4-6. But I think he has the best 9 to check back, having the single over.
Is there a chance though he's also buying himself a free river when he okay, well that we're not gonna get to know because he just hit gin. But yeah, curious, like I guess if he gets called there and just check too, he might just
I mean, man, we've seen Pedro make some big calls at this final table. I wouldn't be surprised if this is it for him. He's got a good hand, and I don't even know if he has a pure bluff catcher at this point. I think Pablo can potentially shove the same hand for value, or potentially even king 9, maybe not king 9. Like, I think we might see the end of Pedro right here. It's
What a
very
cruel
easy.
river. What a
Yeah, it's
wild
very.
man. Yeah, Pablo's checking back almost any river, right?
Yeah, I would think so when he half pots the turn.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be it for Pedro. Let's see if he can find a big fold here. But it is, I I would not. I don't see it. Let's see if he proves me wrong.
All right, we're over 250 thumbs up, almost 2,000 watching. There's the
There it
call.
is.
Can't blame him. Pablo, over 40 mil. Binder, 49. Martin, 30 mil. That is your final three. And podium status has emerged. A million up top plus for
Seven
the remaining
figures.
three. What a match. And now 41, 49, and 30 million. As I have Pablo versus you. You are in good shape, 80 to 40. But again, Pablo, the Brazilian, tricky and capable. He is still in the mix with the ace 4, 9, 10. And we are going to see, again, three-handed match here. Big pay jumps, 800K available between first and third still.
Big money, deep stacks, big spot.
Yeah, huge spot. 2 minutes on the clock for Binder. I'm going to cue that giveaway, guys. Let me get the keyword. We're going to go with GGWSOP. And let's see, $59 giveaway. Put that in. Wow, what a show today. Now, who do you like? Is it just the chips? You got to take it, or who gets it done at this point?
I'm thinking. I mean, Binder's playing the game. He's willing to play some big pots. I don't see him backing down from anything. I actually feel like he's going to be the most aggressive of these three guys, and I think he's going to get it done.
All right, there it is. $50 giveaway, keyword GGWSOP, space Seth, space insert your GG Poker username. Please, one time, two max. Don't spam. We will pick a winner. We will announce that. And then the Twitter, I'm going to pick that $100 on my Jeff Gross Poker Twitter for today. Just retweet, guess the winner. Still eligible. Don't have to get the winner right. Just have to participate and guess, as it's still three-handed. A lot of you have done that so far. Appreciate that. Engaging and yeah, wide open. Nice little 10K $1 million score, man. What a feeling that is. Start out 2025. What a moment for these three.
It is a big one.
What was your first breakthrough score, Seth? I know that 32 million plus earnings. What was the one where you were like, all right, I'm gonna be playing poker for a living? Where did it click? Where did you know that this was for you?
So the first time I ever had a real significant score, I was playing sit and goes for a living. This was probably 2010. I was playing about $10 average buy-in. I had like a 5K bankroll on PokerStars, playing a bunch of 180-man sit and goes and some low stakes MTTs too. And I had that 5K bankroll that I would turn over about every month. I'd make about 5K. But one Sunday, I won the Sunday second chance. It was a 215 for about 50,000. And this was long before I was like had any kind of backing or anything. This was just my money. And I was a 21-year-old kid in college. That 50,000 lasted about 2 months. I just incinerated it partying. It was a good time, but not a bit of a learning experience. So yeah, that was the first time I had a taste of any kind of real money, and it sure as hell didn't last.
Yeah, that makes we've all, yeah, exactly, man. Some of the rides not always smooth. Go up, go down, spend some money, learn, take the licks, and go and enjoy. Poker definitely a crazy ride. I see that 2000. I'm sorry, was it? I just was looking. Was it 16 or when you won the Montreal WPT?
Yep. So that I would put that in that category for sure. That was the first year I started playing a lot of live poker, and won that WPT and had some other smaller scores that year, and that kind of catapulted me up into bigger stakes. That year also I chopped the 5K in Florida with Jason Kuhn for about 500K. So
Yeah.
that's
That's so
good,
funny. Your two big scores and locations were in my exact two as well. I had the Alpha 800K. I got like 400 something, and at the Seminole, the first ever Alpha 8, that was at the Hard Rock, and then the WPT Montreal, similar score, but I got third. I think I got like 314, but it was from 3,500. And I love Montreal. That's like that place, just unbelievable and so much fun. But that exact two scores were my like biggest, at the time, just back in those around then, like 2013 and 14 and just yeah, that's funny. Very similar
For
time.
sure.
And
Yeah, good poker hotspots. That Montreal poker room is amazing. It's really well run. They got great staff. They got great tournaments. It's comfortable, good food. I always love going up there.
yeah, it's awesome.
Montreal's
I
a
used to
cool
go
place.
4 or 5 times a year before yeah, back in the day, maybe like till COVID almost. And then now I haven't gone in a while, but
Yeah. I mean, great poker in Florida too. Obviously, that place is a hot spot.
yeah, they do 3 or 4 great series a year. Good high rollers, good main event. I know Jason, I think won that. You won that or got deep the 5K. You said second, just huge scores and good turnout. Fun place to play poker as we see a pair versus middle set. No one with the spade. Martin definitely likes this flop. Check back. Okay.
I mean, not a bad hand for Pablo to get frisky with. We'll see if he decides to, but he's kind of got that amount of equity where he wants to see rivers. He wants to, I mean, he can potentially bluff raise a hand like this, but decides to just let it go.
All right, so everyone over 30. We got 30, 32 million, 45, 44, basically. Very, very tight. That's sort of been a theme today. Oh, how many are left? It's just tight. No one super separating. There was a bit for binder, and then all of a sudden stuff is consolidated. We're down to 3 big payouts. Guaranteed 4-9 suited, king 10 off as king 4-9 suited going to come in raising. Taxi cab, anyone from Houston out there knows what I'm talking about. King 10 defend, 9-4 suited there. No player with the pair, king 10 in the lead. And
Don't see Martin going anywhere yet. Maybe not again. I mean, this is another spot where I think Pablo will bet small a lot of the time. And Martin can stick around, check or bet small. Martin with the quick fold. I would have liked to see him consider fighting for that pie. He had the king of diamonds, some good showdown value, some good rivers for him. These guys are in for a battle. This is a big three-handed spot with deep stacks, high stakes.
yeah, no, this is sick. This is fun. B binder, Pablo, Martin, all showing us the ability to go for it. It's wide open. And we have a little dinner wager on it, 50 mil to 70, so super close. Pablo able to close, knows how. How did they start today on this stacks? B binder, Pablo were two of the biggest. I think Martin, what
I
number
think
was?
Binder was 1, Martin
Yeah,
was 2, Pablo, it might have been 1, 2, 3. I think it was.
did we
Maybe
see it?
Pablo just won a couple big pots early.
Exactly. Binder was 1, Martin 2, Pablo 3. So yeah, literally chalk. Pedro also was he out 4th and Roman 5th? I think it might have been literally chalk.
We
For
chalked it all the way down.
think it well at least to Pedro's 4th, right? Or Roman. Roman got 5th and was
Yeah,
Owen
Roman got
5th.
5th, Pedro got 4th.
The only Austriac went out 9th, so that was different. But yeah, for top 6, I think they go 1 through 6. Pretty unusual.
Yeah, you don't see that too much. Like these, I mean, final tables, anything can happen, and it often does. So going chalky like this is not very common, especially with how crazy this final table has been.
Yep, we saw some willingness to go for it early here. Top pair versus a gut shot over Jack 7, certainly going to continue. Pablo with the best hand, also has a gut shot in there as the 8 does complete. So this is a spicy turn, although there is an obvious 4-line straight. 10-8 does make the 2 pair. So not the card he wanted. It does check back and good spot for Binder to get some value.
Yeah, I think he's gonna bet big. He has the hand, he has no pairs in his hand, so it's just really likely Pablo's gonna have a 2 pair type hand that he has. So I'd like to see some kind of bigger size bet, at least a couple million. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
was slightly over bet.
Yep.
Can you exploitively, is there a way to just fold this? I mean, he has one of the better two, he's got a great two pair, but
Yeah, you can fold this for sure. I mean, this is kind of the hand. Yeah, good fold from Pablo.
didn't
And
think too long. Got it right.
yeah, yeah, I think the big thing there was Binder bet pretty quickly. If Binder has King Jack offsuit and is bluffing there, he likely might take a little bit of a longer tank to choose a size that big.
Ace Jack, Jack nine, diamond for finger, but Ace Jack strong top pair, three-handed here on the button, gonna bet and likely end it. Although we do see some floats and creativity with hands when you got, it is three-handed, people miss, and you do start checking about the check raise and getting cute, but they're not quite enough hand, gonna get out of the way. Best practice for Martin. Queen deuce off fold, B binder, Martin finger. Who's gonna win? Who do you like? Let's go 1 for Pablo, 2 for binder, 3 for finger. Who do you think wins? And again, you can guess on Twitter. Just go to Jeff Cross Poker, hit the retweet on the tweet from today, and guess who you think wins. Don't have to get it right, just guess, participate. I'll choose a winner, and we're gonna announce the $50 winner shortly, as I will pick that. And man, we are seeing a treat today. Definitely a highlight. One of those ones, maybe not just knockouts. We need some other hands in the highlights from today. This was some great stuff, as we've seen some of the top players in the world show us some of their tricks and ability, and great decision making today. Just so many times they're just right. People are right fold, right call, and then the bluffs have been great bluffs, just getting picked off sometimes.
Yeah, we've really seen some high level play today. Here we go. Pablo, nice one to raise here. I like this. He's got the back door. He's got the low side card. That's pretty good. Martin not going to be going anywhere on the flop.
How much of a difference? Obviously, the heart, a great one to continue with, but what about say it was the 8 of diamonds instead the 8 of spades? How much of a difference does that make in terms of continuation?
I think it makes a big difference for Pablo because if the turn has no flush draw, he has to draw his semi bluffs from just straight draws. But now when it's a spade, he can kind of just give up and continue when he has a spade or a 9. Yes, the 9 still makes straight draws whether the 8's a spade or not, but it's going to slow him down with a hand like this and just give him more leeway to be aggressive with like King 5 of spades. So it does, yeah, it's a little less. It's not an action killing card, but for his exact holding, it kind of is. See if he'd tee up. I mean, he could tee up a bluff here. I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of big bet. I think if he bets, he does want to go big. So he's just trying to get a hand like Jack 9 to fold or something at this point. He's basically saying he has an ace himself, so I don't think this is gonna work.
Ace 6, Martin, hello, 37 mil. Let's just make it as even as possible down the stretch, as we are up. Blinds are up 350, 700K, about 50 blinds a pop, maybe more. What, 60 for binder? 6 times 7, where are we at? 54. Yeah, no, so 44. So 50 blinds, a little over for Martin. And yeah, more than that. Six times 7. Yeah, we got 65, 70, 65 blinds. So deep three-handed play. Definitely a treat. Definitely not normal. A lot more chips in play, though, as we know, with this many entries and this much of a prize pool. So we will see some poker for the 3 players.
Yeah, that pot really evened him out here. That's gonna keep things interesting.
Yeah, definitely no cakewalk. Not going to be someone just getting to pressure and shove and put pressure. We're going to go post flop here more frequently, as these guys
that's been the cool part of this. That's been the cool part of this final table, is it just hasn't been a one huge stack is just playing every pot and putting pressure on everybody. It's been a real, a lot of post flop play, a lot of stuff going on from all players.
1,800 watching. Epic audience, some new faces, a lot of familiar faces. Hello, everyone. Let us know where you're watching from. Hope you're enjoying. Got a treat of a finish here. Too close to call at the moment as Pablo's chipped down from 53-handed. He's got 38 and now slightly ahead of Martin. Binder's still holding that lead. Ace-5 suited going to open the button. Nice little hand, 3-handed. Could ask for more on that flop. No spade, no straight draw. Just kind of whiffed it. 9-7 does have middle pair. Binder down to a minute 20. I'm going to keep an eye on that chess clock. He has the chip lead, so decent chance he could hit zeros.
Yeah, if he gets heads up, he could potentially have a lot of pressure on him in some big heads up spots.
Yeah, harder
Heads
to
up
play.
spots take time.
Yeah. Queens, Jack 10, King 6.
Let's see if Pablo decides to continue this versus a 3-bet. I think it's close depending on the size. Kind of on the bigger side. I would expect to fold, but yeah, there we go.
Queen 8. Gonna call. Dominated. Both players whiff. Ace, deuce, 3. No one with many key cards at diamond at each player. Queen Jack though, gonna come in betting, and Queen 8 just gonna just be done with that. All right. Well,
A lot
I
of
don't
these
know.
players really looking to take the lead in a lot of these spots, which is it's good to see when the stacks are this even. It's a lot more fun to see that than just a lot of checky, cally, let's showdown type of play. So yeah, it's been good to see a lot of that raising. Pretty good 3-bet candidate for Binder, but he passes it up.
Eight, 5, 6, 7 suited. Nice flop for 6, 7 suited here. I mean, 8, 5 suited also similar characteristics to have the backdoor and flush draws and also overs to that 4. So that is both players with a very similar type hand here. With Pablo, I think not a lot of hand here, a lot of good turns and drawing to the nuts. Does call. Yeah.
There were some turn cards that could build a big pot there. I don't think this is one. Binder, I mean, if he's got some real balls to him, maybe he decides to on this. Doesn't look like he will, but I think Pablo will just bet. He's shown that he's the type of guy to just kind of like to bet the turn here to try to take the pot down, which is a totally fine play with this hand, but he seems to be less interested in checking turns and getting to rivers that way, but nicely done by him. Ooh, here we got some real hands. Think we'll see a squeeze from Pablo. I mean, we might go 3-way post flop, and I think this will go squeeze. He just calls. Too bad.
Wow,
Stats.
big hands. Pretty looking 3-way hands for distribution. Suited broadways, king, queen off. I mean, really, everyone's something there.
No cards below 10.
All right, I'm going to announce the $50 winner. We'll still have the 100. Leave that queued up for the heads up match. That is on Nicholas K. Congrats, you just won $50. Let me see. It says Beiruzi. Is that the other Beiruzi? I don't think that's the same. There you go, $50 coming up. So you guys can hold tight on that rest of the keyword. We'll get a $100 one for you in a shortly, and you do have the option to hit that retweet button on Jeff Gross Poker right now for 100 in cash. That is not a GG ticket, so anywhere you don't need a GG account for that. That is the latest tweet today. We don't need to get it right. We are going to see 3 giveaways today: 100, 150, 250 in giveaways. And a lot of people have participated in that. King, queen, jack, queen, king, queen hits the king, and a hand that had a lot of work was dominant. I guess jack, queen, probably equity is super tight there, right? Pre-flop, everyone kind of was something nice going. At spades, though, jack, queen flop could have got more there. Looking for a jack or spade to win. King, queen finds a king on the river and gets it done. Ace 10 was actually in the lead, so yeah, fair fight. And 46 now. Pablo back into the chip lead, 47 mil. Deuces, 3 deuce suited. Martin with a pair. And that is going to say hard to have a deuce find its way. It does.
There it is.
And it does come out, and Pablo going to come in betting. Nice to see a set and just get bet into. Let's have backdoor.
Got to raise here. Absolutely have to raise. Something like 2 million.
Does shoot it up. Pair with backdoors, certainly good enough. Pablo to peel. Looking for.
Yeah, he could potentially 3-bet this flop too. I think that's a pretty fine play. But call would be the standard.
Yep. Does call. That is a boring card for both players. I guess Deuce is still happy though. Has a set, although Heart definitely one of the only cards that you really don't love, although it is a set 3-way heads up pot, blind on blind. I mean, still pretty confident. What do you like? I mean, this is not your dream card, but you still going to kind of bet here. No reason
Yeah,
not
I would
to.
bet. I would bet something like half pot. I think you still want to get some value from hands like Queen 9 with the Queen of Hearts,
Yeah.
Ace
King
Queen
X.
with the Ace of Hearts, any king. Yeah, I like this bet from Martin. And the pot's not so big at this point that you ever get blown off your equity. Like Pablo's not going to check shove on you and blow you off your set, so you can easily peel a check raise. So yeah, like the bet, like the fold.
Got a big show next week as well. No 1.8 to first, but Mr. Fedor Holz will join us in the booth and get to call a big final table again. Usually a little bit after these, there's still juiced up. Some new people got cashes or brought in for the tournament that got to see it. So next week should have a healthy prize pool as well. Huge difference though, 1.8 versus around 350, 400. We won't see that for a while again, but that is, again, we're going to see history here. Someone's going to win one of the largest ever. I don't know where this ranks on the all-time GGMillion, but it's definitely like top 10, if not top 5. Could be even one of the other than the WSOP ones. I think it's even I remember the WSOP actually being about the same. The one that we had during the bracelet events where Daniel and I did that. Negreanu, we had I think it was around 1.8 or maybe it was 2 million, but this is definitely about as big as you're going to get there. As the 7 didn't need it, was already winning as a check mark. Pablo, pretty clean board for the 7. No flushes, no straights, and Binder going to just check. Does have queen high.
Might pay him off here. There it is.
Well, 8-9 suited. Got the wheel draw, backdoor clubs. Going to shoot it up. Bet your gutters. Jungle Man will tell you that. It's something I remember way back in the day. Got some tricks, and there you go. One of the reasons why you get to kind of rebluff a bluff and pick it up in 5 high. Really nice execution there from Martin. Gets a good result as he has 43 million. He's really played well. I mean, Martin, the guy, again, been around, plays high stakes, knows how to finish, knows his way around. And as you picked earlier, you said if he can get his way heads up, Also have to kind of put him in as a favorite. Again, don't know how much work Binder or Silva does in heads up, but he played heads up sit and goes for a living. Going to be tough to be more experienced than him. Probably won't make too many mistakes there, as be a tough ask for either player if they get heads up with a similar stack to take down Martin.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna wait till we get heads up, and I'll put the $100 ticket. Appreciate everyone engaging. Remember, you gotta be subscribed, hit thumbs up. 282 of you guys out of 1,800. If we can get more of you involved, does help the show, helps everyone. And again, Seth volunteering his time, coming in, studying, helping. But this is a it's 3 hour plus show through the pregame. It's a long day, and we do appreciate the time. Hope to have Seth on again in the future. And I can't claim, that's the problem with Seth's resume. I can't, when he goes and wins 2 Tritons and cashes for 4.8 million, and we say it's booth magic and that, but he does know how to play poker, and we'll just take a tiny bit of credit. Not can't go for all of it. We have had historically some great immediate success after, again, from great players already. So, but I think it does help to be informed, and a little different than just going on YouTube and scrolling through and watching hands. You kind of feel the tempo, think what players are going to do, and kind of be immersed in a setting of high stakes and decision making. So it's cool when you sort of predict. Again, a caveat when you see the whole cards, all right, it's a little bit hard to kind of making great decisions a little more because of that, but it's still in flow and fun.
Yeah, a little more fun this way, huh? But I'll take all the booth magic I can get, man. I got a lot of poker ahead of me, so.
Yep. Give me a day in Jeju for you. You wake up, are you kind of hitting the gym? You get up early, you start on time. What's sort of like a typical routine, assuming all things equal, for you on a series like that?
Yeah, so Jeju traveling west like that, the jet lag battle is kind of staying asleep, right? So early on in Jeju, it's kind of like wake up at 4 a.m., lay in bed for a couple hours trying to convince yourself you're not awake yet.
Yep.
And then eventually just get out of bed. They got a great breakfast there. Hit the breakfast buffet. Definitely go in, get a workout. And then it's, pretty early on. The tournaments start pretty early in the day, maybe 2 p.m. And you're just in there for the grind. You're in there
Yeah.
for those bigger field 25Ks early on. You're playing till 2 a.m. So it's really grindy. You play a lot of hours, and you're battling with some jet lag. So you just gotta stay moving, stay healthy, and get some good food in you.
Absolutely. Seems like good strategic assessment, as Binder going to shut this down. Having the diamonds, not a great hand to bluff, and on the ace king would have not worked Pablo with the king 4, and he is now thinking what he is going to do, and gotta believe bet ace x feel good as a weak kicker, but it's again pretty strong hand here. King trips, jack queen would have come in, probably would have bet himself, not checked there, but that is a 52 million now. Pablo back to that 50 plus 39. So basically 50, 40, 30. You see the chips in play, sort of 50, 40, 30% wide open. Top 3 million, lower left payouts. On a 307K jump between first and second. And then we will have the epic about just under 500K heads up match, which is 50 buy-ins. Pretty epic.
Crazy.
The epic
Huge
heads
stakes.
up match. Yeah. And King Queen 4994 with the winner currently. 1 minute for Binder on the clock. He was our chip leader. Now he's in third. And we said that these are the 3 that started the day as chip leader. So all of them doing a good job, right? You start top 3, a lot of poker can be played. You go up, you go down. But to make it top 3 to start and be in the top 3, you're pretty happy, right? Okay, I've locked up, I've done, I at least got a mill here. And now, trying to get the title, trying to get that win, but at least you didn't go out being top 3 and 8th or 7th or 5th even, right? It's like, okay, I did secure a nice payday. It is nice, and that's no guarantee at a final table.
Yeah,
This
you
is
get
also
that.
kind of rare to see top 3 take top 3.
You get through to shorthanded, you kind of accomplished what you really wanted to accomplish. It's painful when you're coming in top 3 and you get 7th. I've done it many a times. We talked about that in that 250K buy-in where I came into the final table with a stack worth over $3 million, and I think I cashed for like 1 million. So those will kill you. Those will kill. Those suck. So these guys, they got through it.
Queen 9, Queen 3 suited, both with something happening here. Queen through does have a gut shot and the queen high flush draw. Queen 9 with gut shot 9. Hard to make a pair and no limit hold'em. Certainly heads up pots and three-handed. So both players again, kind of happy to have part of the board. And that's a healthy bet. That's going to put a lot of pressure.
Bet. Yeah, Binder's already in a bit of a tough spot. I mean, I don't think he's going to fold, but he's being told he's got a hand. He probably, he doesn't have that much great equity versus the value hands is what I'm saying, but there's the spoiler.
Yeah, both players can't believe what fell. They both love it. Unlikely ace queen there. So both effectively the nuts, and Martin with the missed flush draw. So talk to me about this, because so you typically you're not bluffing with the missed flush draw. When you have a flush draw and you actually miss, though, it's kind of nice, right? Because you actually now you're like, okay, my opponent likely has something else and I hit. So talk to me about that dynamic when, although you shouldn't really be bluffing with the flush draw on the river, but when you have it and miss, but you make a hand such strong as this. Tell me about that. How do you approach that bet?
Yeah, so I think the biggest key to this hand is just that if you have a missed flush draw, it's the only hand you have that isn't like value or showdown, right? Like if he has, say, 5, 6 of clubs, it's kind of one of the very few hands he can choose to bluff with, just because everything else has something. So a lot of the times, you never want to bluff a flush draw because you want the other guy to have him, and sometimes you just kind of have no choice because you don't have any other bad hands. So I think that was one of those situations. So it would have been a nice time to bluff had he had 5, 6 of clubs. Obviously, it wouldn't have worked when the other guy had a straight, but I think that's how the range plays out.
Three, 5, 5, 3. Same hand, same pair, both with no backdoor draws. Blind on blind, gonna see a lot of that. Three-handed, of course. 5, 3, betting, and 5, 3, and gonna stay involved here.
Yep, we'll likely see this check down now. There are some rivers that, it would take a very odd situation for anyone to end up bluffing.
All right, check. No harm, no foul. Still 50, 40, 30, pretty much clean. Sort of like a sit and go with that, payouts 50, 40, 30, or it was used to be 50, 30, 20, I guess, was how they would pay those out in the day. Again, Martin Finger, a lot of experience in those. And fours, and twos, that's something you don't see every day. 3 pairs, sharing pair across the board. I got news. Deuce, 4 not coming. Deuce potentially coming. Going to be hard to have a big pot here, though, with the hands. Almost no shot of a big pot.
Yeah, these two guys had the exact same hands twice in a row.
Which is pretty funny. And honestly, out of the boards, fours on a deuce 3, 8, one of the only boards where 4 is actually going to be enrolled to be involved. I guess also the spades 4s, but interesting spot.
Yeah, let's see if we can get to the river, see a turn 5 or something. Let's get some action.
Wow. Well, okay. Yeah, can't blame Pablo betting there, right? This is a pretty good flop for 4s.
Not at all. He gets a lot of protection with this bet. So Binder, I would raise if I was him. Yep, there we go.
Does it matter at the spot you're unblocking, of course, top pair, bottom set, which is great, but having that deuce of spades versus not, does it slightly better to be raising because you could have a flush draw, or does that not really matter in this case as you have bottom set?
I think the one without the spade will be slightly better for your EV, but I would just raise all of them.
Yeah. Well, this isn't a fantastic turn. Really, kind of a cooler.
This is
it's
very
like
interesting.
the 8. There's so many draws, and now you got 4s, and you might actually, you feel pretty decent about it. Look at that, 44 mil pocket 4s, over pair to the 3 and the deuce, and he's not going anywhere certainly here. And honestly, the river.
I think he can potentially find a hero fold here. The main reason being Binder's, he didn't, but the main reason being Binder's main bluff should be like 4, 5, 5, 6, or 4, 6, but he does stick around.
That's a nasty river for that. If you somehow had the 8, you're losing now, which is funny. And then you get the snap check, and 4s, I guess, just going to be happy to show down and does not.
Yeah.
have a
nasty run out for Binder, but
yeah, I guess in a way nasty, but in a way he got a lot of chips in 45, 38, 38. This is again about as even as you can be. Three-handed nines, Jack five, King nine.
Binder almost out of clock here. So he's gonna have, if he runs out of clock, he gets 5 seconds per decision. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Wow. He's gonna be on turbo mode playing a 500K heads up match possibly. Martin could potentially rampage with this king nine. It's a pretty good spot for it. Binder's just gonna have a lot of pocket pairs. This is let's see how this develops.
Yeah, nice board for nines here. Pretty nice. I mean, 8, 8, 3, 4, 7.
Here we go. Can Martin find the follow through?
Is the nine? I guess yeah. He's kind of got what draws or what is he trying to target here? Does he stack the pot ratio one? Is this the is he unloaded here? King nine off
It's
or
a
no?
pretty unfortunate river for him. I don't think he's gonna bluff. I think he's gonna give up. What he really wants is like a 10 jack queen to bluff where because he just really wants to put a lot of pressure on hands like nine, seven, sixes, fives. He does bet kind of a weird size. I guess he's saying he has like ace seven at this point. I mean, if he has pocket tens, he certainly just wants to go all in. Wow, he gets the fold.
That's I mean, man, it's one of those ones where whole cards up, but it just seems that seems a little crazy.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Binder folded so
Wait, did he
quickly.
run out of time? Did he time bank full
Oh,
house?
you're right. He did. He timed out.
Wow, wow, that might have been.
Oh
I mean, I
man,
honestly don't know whether he would have. I think
I feel
that's
like he would have
crazy.
called.
Yeah, I think I don't. I was shocked that he
Oh
folded.
wow,
Okay,
that's crazy. He did
that is.
time out.
We alluded to it for a while, right? It can come into play. It definitely affects decisions, but in the spot like that, that literally could have cost him. I mean, that would have been Martin down to 12 mil. He would have
Huge
had
pot.
another
Huge pot.
37 million in there. He would
I
have
think he
seven.
probably would have called, judging by how he's played today.
Yeah, he made some good hero calls in there. It didn't seem super scary the board. I mean, I guess you lose to an eight and obviously
Yeah.
a few other variety of hands, but that is yeah, such a wild run out. I kind of see actually I put on the replay side.
Yeah, I mean, I think with how that played out, it's not crazy for Martin to just have a worse value hand with ace seven.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nutty hand. All right, I'm gonna cue the 100 giveaway here shortly. We are still got a lot more poker to play. Let's see, yeah, that was super interesting. Ace five, 6 9, nice flop, 6 9 suitor. What a huge swing for Martin.
Yeah, Martin's really trending up.
I'm yeah, I'm a bit shocked by that whole hand. Was really wild. I mean, he must know his time, right? I'm sure he was thinking about it throughout the hand that he's low on time, and you see that possibly didn't realize it, but that was a nice hand to come back with trips here. King three, 4 3. You can see that 5 second activation.
Crazy.
Definitely
This is
advantage.
what an intense situation for this guy.
Martin in the lead.
Zeros on the clock. All right, here we go. Here's some real hands. Oh, baby. Big pop brewing, I think. We might see a.
Whoa.
We might get this in on the flop.
Yeah, this is the gut shot, the 10 jack suited versus nut flush. This is pretty nutted for both players in terms of draw. Nut flush draw versus jack high flush draw with the gut shot. And yeah, this could certainly be 4 rolls. And as we said, 307K on the line. Could be Martin does have an advantage here to deliver a potential knockout. Jack 10, though, plenty of hand. Got the jack 10
Yeah,
9.
plenty of equity for him if they do get it in.
Yeah, not the
If
hand he
Martin
wants to
decides to
see, of
raise.
course. Yep. Wow.
All right, Pablo. I mean, if he calls, it really sucks to face a turn shove. So I think we're going to see him get all in on the flop here.
Well, this is pot of the day brewing here. It's got all the makings and is exactly Pablo going to be pretty unlucky to see. Oh, wow. Does
Ooh,
call.
just
So it gets the
call.
open-ended now. Open-ended flush draw, which again, as we know, doesn't
And I
have
mean,
all those outs. Yeah.
it's a nice card for Martin. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see a shove here. Pablo should just have top pair a lot. This card really ruins Pablo's top pairs. I wouldn't be surprised to see Martin try to put him to the test, get him to fold, say, Queen Jack of Spades.
Wow. Price is right. This is in the now interesting. Like I think if you're Pablo, it's sort of yeah, you're gonna get in. You're not going away. So we could again. So there is some action crazy rivers, and could he just rip it though? Could he rip it or no? At this point, 6 million, you just take it, figure if opponent's not folding calls, and there is
Oh,
a
there it is.
nasty one.
There
Plays
it
it
is.
out, and if you are Martin, this is nice. You got your opponent with 15 mil. You know you got 42 coming your way, and you're thinking about, do I get the rest? And again, SPR very low, right? 133rd, right? So yeah, he just rips it in. Pablo gonna snap call. There it is. Bad news. Can't believe it. Does see, I guess, lose with queen eye, king eye, ace high. That is GG Pablo. Martin, what a swing. He's 1 second away getting called, being down to 12 mil out the door. Gets the fold with the king nine against nines. Now has 1.338 locked up, playing for just under 5. What's that? 494 for a heads up match in binder. Here we go. Austria flags represented. Germany versus, we don't know, right? You said the binder, we're not sure his origin of country, I believe, but that is a wild deal here. What a crazy game we play.
Locked up the dinner bet, too. These are both my horses.
Yeah. And binder, no time. Martin with 330s. Oh, so that's it. I think you locked up a dinner. We did say are we going, what are we doing? Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out? If you want to get
Taco
crazy,
Bell.
just kidding. We'll go nice.
Taco
We'll
Bell
go nice.
drive-through.
We'll go a nice spot. You deserve it. This is a nice win, a blowout too. No sweat, heads up. It was looking promising for a second.
And here we go. This is Martin Finger in his kind of natural habitat. He's played this format tens of thousands of times. We'll see. We'll watch him go to work. Big chip lead too.
Yeah. This is man. What an interesting final table. All right, I got to get you guys queued up for $100 giveaway. I will get that going here in a second, and I don't know. Got the Twitter one as well for 100 cash. Kind of let you guys have time to do that. I'll put that link one more time. Last time I'm gonna put it though. Got 40 people eligible. 2% chance to win. Not bad. Not bad. All right, 9-4 king 3, man. Martin with this lead and this heads up domination of his career of being such a playing so many of these spots. I mean, you got to believe 90 to 30, 3-1 lead with heads up, got to be the favorite by a good bit. What percent of time does Martin get this done?
I'm gonna say, let's see, he's got 3 times as many chips. I'm gonna say yeah, I'll just say a clean 75%. He comes home with the win.
Makes sense. All right. Binder
Yeah, I'm
trying
not
to
sure
do
how.
that. Yeah, I think that's a good guess.
Very interesting dynamic too with Binder having no clock. It's Like it just plays even more to Martin's favor here because Martin has just played this spot so much more, so he's more comfortable with what to do, whereas Binder most likely has to think through almost every decision. He just doesn't have any baseline to go off. I don't know, maybe he has a background in heads up too, but it's probably much newer to him. So Martin is really in a nice spot here in a huge, huge heads up match.
All right, nine. These are pretty looking hands. Heads up. It's Queen 7 off the computer hand, but 9-10 suited, definitely a very spicy hand. A6 suited, a nice one to see. And Martin, does he want to just? I guess, yeah. Why not just call? Right. You don't need to blow up the pot. You could 3-bet, but you're also just in control. It's a pretty looking hand. Gets to a flop, and this is great flop for 9-10. Very nice flop. Now less nice.
Yeah, I would expect Martin to bet this though. Yeah. His not only does he have the straight outs, like he just does, like he still just has tons of outs. Like Binder's gonna have hands like he has very often. So I mean, Martin has a good hand to put him to the test here. I mean, he should go all in or check. Looks like he's gonna give up. Easy check for Binder. There's no reason to bet. You bet when you have an ace with a kicker that plays. His kicker doesn't play, so if you have ace 9 or better, you bet. If you have the lower aces, you check.
All right, getting that $100 giveaway keyed up here. Going to be keyword GGPoker, GGWSOP space GGMillions, and insert your GGPoker username. And if you don't have a GGPoker username, choose your friends, gift it to them, split it with them, do whatever you want, but make sure they have that as a GGPoker username. That is officially live. We'll cue that up here shortly, get you guys the $100 ticket. And there you go. Martin Finger, what a day. What do you think he timed out? I mean, you don't think he was full there, right? 12 mil there, nines on that board as played. Just kind of believe he's got a call. That seemed like that was crazy.
Yeah, I don't think he was folding. No way. This final table has kind of had it all. We've had a bunch of wild things happen.
Queen 3, not much here. Queen high, heads up poker though. Queen high binder. I mean, at the end of the day, look, he got heads up. He would have called, would have had the chip lead. Maybe Martin goes out third. So it could have been a different outcome, right? It would have been binder potentially with the chip lead heads up, or Martin most likely goes out third. And that's a huge swing for Martin, right? 800G timeout potentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty epic stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 3-minute clock to 0. So binder with no decision making. I guess if you factor in your percent of the time he wins, 3-1 chip lead, more experience heads up almost certainly, and no clock, right? That's a big kind of underdog. That's like Eagles Chiefs at the half. It's pretty dark, pretty large road ahead. Not over, but not good. Important start, right? Important start to the second half or heads up match. Need to kind of chip away a bit. You go down to 20, 15 from 30, or you go up to 50, 60. Huge difference. I mean, 85-35, really not crazy though, right? You're talking one double and you're a 7-5 chip lead. So it is by no means insurmountable. I think that clock hurts. And then again, Martin likely's played a ton more heads up, almost certainly based on his poker resume.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen in these heads up tournaments. I've seen, people come back from 20-1 deficits. It's no cakewalk to close this thing out. So don't crown him yet.
Deuce ace six makes the running two pair. Does slip it over a little rope there. Martin not going to bite with the queen deuce. Just guess maybe enough showdown, and as played didn't take the bait. Binder though chipping up though 40 to 80, right? 2-1. We just said 3-1 now, 2-1. Just a couple little pots. And blinds are at the 501. So 40 blinds heads up, plenty of chips. What's your strategy? What do you like where default strategy 40 blinds heads up? Are you limping, min raising? When do you start limping?
Play a little of both. I would play some raise and some limps in this situation. Yeah, you're still deep enough to you want to play some raised pots. You know, when you get super shallow, you stop. Like you are kind of more incentivized to limp a little bit. At least with a little bigger ante. Most of my heads up experiences is with bigger ante, so this is a little different. Not an exactly an expert at this format, but
Yeah.
that's how it works for different ante structures at least.
Yeah, 300 plus thumbs up. Got 1,600 watching at the moment. Hope you guys are enjoying out there. And again, you could type 1 for Martin, 2 for Binder. What do you think? Certainly advantage Martin at the moment. But
Nice bluff reminder there.
gets it through. Gets it through. There it is, the payouts. Just a cool 4. Is that 494? I believe on the almost on the dot. Ace 10, Queen Jack, 2 real hands here. Ace 10, is it enough to 3-bet?
Yeah.
Probably pretty
I would
strong.
expect to see a 3-bet pot here.
8 mil, 9 mil. There it is. 7-5. Queen Jack 2. A little bit. Yeah. See again, chips move. All of a sudden, if he picks this up 70 to 50, without doubling, he started at 35, or we were saying he was at. That was where he started. Yeah. So there it is. He's on his way. Queen Jack off. Does have the 2 overs. No backdoor flush, but the straight. Queen Jack, is it enough hand? You start. You liberal 6 mil call here and there. Next thing you know, you're you're down to 65 and it's like tight. So tough spot here for Martin.
Yeah, very close spot. I wouldn't mind to see a little raise here, honestly.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
I think
but
a little raise would be a good option for him too. But he seems to be playing this strat of generally kind of keeping pots small and playing a bit of small ball, try to kind of extend the match, make the other guy make as many decisions as possible.
Yep. But he's aware of that shot clock as well.
Yep.
Four, 3, King 9, both with the flop pair. 3-4 doesn't get that extra equity turn. Had a bunch of things that could have been nice as it stands, though. He's still betting, and King 9 has a winner. Can fade that 5 outs on the river. And that would have been a nice turn for equity, but as it turns out, the deuce not a help, and King 9, 4-3 can just show down here. I think he's gonna actually go ahead and lead on out. Interesting.
I don't hate this play. I think this is kind of the amount of money he wanted to bet. He kind of just did it in a roundabout way. I think he should have just bet the turn and bet the river, but he kind of got there one way or the other.
Yeah, going for about.
It's kind of an odd play, but it's just like, he's trying to make the pot as big as he wants to make it, which isn't a bad idea.
All right, $100 giveaway. Getting ready to call it here. Give it a few more minutes. We'll queue up that giveaway, and then again, let you guys on Twitter after pick that 100 winner. So 215 giveaways today. Best of luck to everyone, and see who wins the crown today. In terms of, just double check 2 winners. I think we said Martin. I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Martin Finger has won 1 time before, and B Binder, who's chip leader. These guys were 1 and 2 to start the day. Binder was a chip leader, has 0 titles. Pablo with 3, Pedro with 1, Roman had 2, 6 for Ole. So out of 13 titles, this is would be Binder's first if he can go ahead. And he actually has the chip lead. Don't look now. They're on the dot, like tied up here. Queen 7, King Queen. A little better flop here for Martin, but yeah, this is now all of a sudden a coin flip. I just wish it was a dinner sweat, man. I got no sweat on the dinner. What's your go-to Vegas? You're a local. You spend a lot of time there. Any new restaurants, any places there you just loved over the years? What's your sort of top few restaurants that just stand out?
Go-to restaurants here. Let's see. You know, there's a Greek place out by my house in Summerlin called Elias that's really, really good. Um, so yeah, I put that one as my go-to.
What kind of
So
food, like
downtown,
steakhouse or what is it?
what's that?
What kind of food?
Greek? Yeah, just a bunch of different Mediterranean stuff. Got real good fish there. Yeah.
Beautiful. You down to check that out? I'm down for anything. I just yeah, like Vegas does have some great food. One of the sneaky great restaurant places, which makes sense, obviously, in the world, but it does have amazing cuisine and some of the off strip local spots too are cool if you know where to go. That's definitely nice. But it is over. I guess no sweat. It is. You won. You won the dinner. There's not even like your guy plus a random. We just had all six were chalk in the six. So one of us was going to win, and then heads up, no sweat there. It is wide open though, down to an even match here. It is very close to call. Again, still give the nudge to Martin with the experience for heads up plus the shot clock. But man, he's made a quick 3-1 become a 50-50 with no double, also no all in. So he's chipped up so far. Good start for Binder.
Yeah, he's playing great, doing what he needs to do. Really good fold from Martin there, though. That was a really tight fold. Got the right play in. Binder.
60 blinds deep. King 4 raising, Jack 9 calling, 4-3-3 good flop, 4 King 4 Jack 9. Got the overs, no diamonds. Binder betting. Martin kind of feeling a little momentum, a little upstuck, right? You're cruising and then you're now behind a bit, slightly behind, and you can kind of feel it. Such a battle of heads up, right? Such a battle of mental understanding the ebbs and flows, and it's not always smooth to get it done. So Martin got to feel good though, man. Getting that fold with the nines to King 9, that's definitely stand out. Whatever happens here, he's gonna feel like he probably got some extra EV in his result, no matter what happens. Of course, if he takes it down, even more so. And I'd love to hear from Binder what happened there. If it was, maybe he would have come to that decision anyway. Although I think he would have called, and if he just didn't see it, because I'm a little surprised he didn't notice his clock was where it was.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I can see in that situation, if I was him, I would be like, it was a big pot, a big spot. He was potentially about to face a shove for his tournament life. It actually ended up being about a half pot bet, but the SPR was only one. So it doesn't, surprise me that he was a little flustered and maybe forgot about the clock and didn't act in time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where he's probably for so long realized that he was short, right? He's aware of it, but still, like, it's something you're not used to normally. And then maybe just all of a sudden you're like, you think, okay, I got 5 seconds, and you're thinking, and then, or you don't know. Who knows? Either way, the ace on the river there, Binder, just things working right now. 69 and change to 53, slight lead, 8-6 to 8-10, suited button in position, and 8 though. This is favorable.
Here we go. We can play a big pot here. Sneaky check, sneaky. I would expect Martin to go for 2 big bets here. Even on the queen, I just don't see him betting less than like 7 million. Okay. Just trying to milk ace high, I guess, but I would have gone a little bigger.
Yeah, working again. Binder behind there got bailed out with a chop. King 8, King Jack again. Martin dominating kicker here. Heads up, King 8 off. 1-3 bet possibly could with this type of king with a weak hand. Doesn't play great pre-flop. Do it. Does take that spot, but King Jack, a lot of hand for heads up. Calls. Both players with a heart. King Jack well ahead of King 8, although easier said than done to get to a showdown sometimes and hold them. It's a big bet too for King Jack off. Does have that heart working.
Yeah, good bet by Binder. Martin can't fold here, but good size from Binder. Ooh.
Oh, wow. That is a epic turn for him. Like, Martin actually ahead, kind of gone down a path of unknown, and then the 8 turn though is going to let him get away. Although, yeah, now flip the script, got 38 to 84. So about a 2-1 lead, a little more there. 3-7 off, maybe wanting to spline the fold, or does go for the limp. Okay, one of the hands makes sense. 38 blinds effective. Wants to come in with some of his strongest and some of his weakest. I just don't know if that 40 blind stack, like with aces or kings or ace king, like is there what, I mean, he's probably raising his nutted hands though there, I would still think, right? Like aces or
Yeah, I
kings.
think if you're gonna have some traps there in your 40 big blind limping range, it's like a little bit of ace queen off, ace king off type stuff.
Yeah.
And then always raise like aces, kings, queens.
Yeah.
But yeah, Binder has really flipped this script on us. He's in the driver's seat now. I mean, they're still really deep. We'll see if Martin can make a little comeback, but things are going Binder's way.
Ace 7, Ace 5. Ooh, this is interesting. Ace 5 wheel draw, but Ace 7 with the kicker in check. Martin certainly is cool with the board. No one with the diamond, 10 of diamonds, 4.2. Another way where maybe this just doesn't get to be that big of a pot. Most likely, both with ace high, feeling okay, but also don't love it. No one with a pair Ace 7 actually plays. How many times this year, Florida, will you get out there once or twice for any of the series, or not necessarily, or probably one, or is that not a normal stop now?
No, not anymore nowadays. Like we got these 4 Tritons, and I like the EPTs a lot too. Or not most of them, but EPT Monte Carlo in Barcelona, you get a 100K, 50K.
Yeah.
Stakes a little bit higher than going to Florida, so I usually try to get to those. You know, you can play 400,000 or 500,000 in buy-ins at those European stops, whereas Florida is maybe 100. So it's just not quite as appealing.
For sure. What is nice is tier 1 ace king suited on the button, 10-4 off. Martin feels it slipping away. Does go
Ooh,
for
there it
a
is.
momentum 3-bet. I call those with just kind of random,
Yep.
kind of sneak one in, and that is not going to work. Ace king suited, not going to let this time out. He is going to be kicking it up, no messing around, just ships in. That could have easily been it, right? That could have been any type of decent hand he happened to have, but no, it was an air
Yeah.
ball. Well, 9-3, where we started, reversed now, 90-30, basically the exact same, and a pretty good situation for Binder all of a sudden.
Yeah, we got the blinds going up in a couple hands too. It's getting real. It's getting serious.
I'm gonna give you guys another minute to hit the thumbs up, get you subscribed, and then I'll pick a winner if you are that. Over 1,500 on. Appreciate everyone sticking with us. Seth Davies, Jeff Gross, calling to action to a winner. 494 to play for. Martin here with 6 high. Queen is with the deuce. See if he's got Martin bluffing the no equity. One of those worst hands. He does go for a big one, and will he hold on? Queen. I think there's enough hands here. No club, no jack, no king. Definitely gonna look it up, and what a run out too. And now Martin, do you want to bet here with 6 high?
Can he follow through? I mean, he's got a great hand to follow through with. He's got no clubs in his hand. Like he should be all in. Let's see if he goes for it. There it is.
Wow.
Nice play, Martin. Very nice.
Wow, he does. And then you click call, you're the champion. You click fold, you're still leading with a lot of play left. But I mean, wow, does
5 seconds to do it. 5 seconds.
5-second timeout again. This time a little more difficult decision. All right, with that said, I got to pick the winner because this could be over in 1 second. We were one river call away, one little trap. He has 2 pair, ace there. He calls, and we're just saying GG. So let me get that out for you guys here. Let me put that in. It's just could be over any second. So $100 winner is gonna pick it. 3-4 ace 3. Martin has the best hand. 8-8 deuce. 3-4 off the jack turn. Doesn't get much of a extra equity here. Does he just want to shell it? Decides that he will do so. Not a no-brainer here. Ace 3 tough, could go either
It's
way.
a healthy bet. Pot size bet.
Let me give it up.
Nicely done.
All right, $100 winner is Eat History. Congrats to you. nice little $100 GG ticket coming into your way. Please give it a little bit of time. Team gets to get it and handle that, as we will have announced the winners in the $100 tweet. Jeff Cross Poker, you guys still eligible. We'll pick that probably later today. I got to rush out of here today, but I will get that winner picked and dropped in, as we see about 50 of you have done that. That is still available to win. So good luck to you all. What about your brother? How much poker is he playing these days? Does he sweat your action, your family? What do they think about poker? Are they pretty immersed in your stuff?
Yeah. I mean, they sweat it for sure. My brother doesn't play too much anymore, but he always likes to sweat. My mom likes to sweat. They're always watching, rooting for me. But yeah, my brother's kind of been retired from poker for 10 years or so. He's out of it. Another good bluff from Martin there.
All right. Well, again, just could be over any second. You never know. Heads up. We saw that at risk. Made me want to get the giveaways out. Going to pick the one on Twitter, 1,600 plus. All those of you who have hit the thumbs up, who have chatted, commented, subscribed, all that, we appreciate it. And again, we appreciate Seth for his time today with a healthy day with you guys. It's not, a pregame, 30-minute pregame. We got the test before. Seth using a good chunk of his day here with us, and appreciate that he plays the highest stakes in the world. And we do much appreciate that. Hope to have him on again in the future, and hope to have you on my podcast. As I mentioned, that would be fun to talk, not just some strategy, but life and the ride you've had. So we'll do that in the future. And again, best of luck in Jeju. And that's a fun trip. That's a long one, Korea. I did that. I went over to Korea. Was it Jeju? I did I was in Seoul and in this another city out there. I went to check an APT out and went over to see the GG offices and took my family. That was a wild one for the kids. Took like a 8-month-old and a 3-year-old at the time. That was not, I would not recommend that one. Taking the 2 kids over there, the time zone trains, planes, and just a wild trip, but fun. Went to Tokyo as well, and really cool part of the world, no doubt. Fun over there.
Yeah, that's a hike for a bunch of young kids.
It is. It's again, now my son's in kindergarten, and these type of trips are not even really possible during a lot of part of the year. And it's it's fun. Poker's great, but less trips, less travel, less time away, as we see the ace-3 king jack. Nice hand. Martin fighting 40 mil, 38.84, man. Too close to call. Who's going to win? We haven't seen a huge collision, heads up. Nothing where just the chips demanded to both go in, as we are getting up with the blinds moving. Still healthy play, but these guys want the title, want the glory, want the money. 494 up for grabs. Martin trying to lean on his heads up experience, his reps. Certainly hard to imagine Binder's play more, but you just don't know. Binder could be a young wizard that is the best heads up player in the world. That's the best beauty of it. We don't know, right? We just don't know all that each of them have been working on or doing. And again, the game changes a bit. So Martin, maybe not as much reps heads up as he used to be, but either way, man, close to call. Got to believe it's comes down to one great hand, one cooler. Heads up poker is fast and furious. You just can end in a second.
Binder with a good opportunity for a hero call here. I think he will. There he goes. Nice call. He's really playing, man. He's been not afraid.
Sort of dusty hands. 3-6 not going to call. 6-8. 145 for Martin. Unlikely we'll see that clock hit 0. I have seen the 0-0 matchup 2 or 3 times, which is pretty exciting. The sort of like chess clock.
Yeah, speed
poker.
Chess, whatever.
This has got potential. King, queen suited, ace-5, 2 spades, ace-5 in the lead. Could have got moving. Maybe too much, right, for the ace-5 just to go ham.
Slightly too much. Yeah, I wouldn't have hated a shove there. I might have done it, but yeah, again, Martin trying to extend the game, play as much small ball as he can. I think he probably feels he has a nice edge, and he's trying to make as many decisions as possible.
Ace-5 somehow. This board, king, queen, so many things to go right. Just didn't get it done. Ace-5 up to 40, 82 to 1. Still plugging away here. Plugging away. Queen 8, queen 5. One slightly better than queen 7 off computer hand and heads up the dead even. One slightly worse. Neither one making a pair. Theme and hold 'em, right? Hard to make a pair. That's why bluffing is important. Semi-bluffing. Just part of the game. You got to be doing that. King 9 7 3 suited button min raise call air balls around. No one. I mean, is this a reminder? You know this, of course, but just like when you're watching and seeing these type of things, especially heads up, blind on blind, and heads up for a title, it's like it's just so hard to make a hand. It's hard to even hit a pair. The creativity, the sizing, constructing of pots is important. And here again, just like even turns, so many times no one even has a real draw or a pair, as 7-3 with the gut shot will come through in a big way with the big bet.
Yeah, heads up, no limit is crazy. You just have to fight a lot. And ooh, here we go.
Eights and ace queen. This has got the making, right, for all of it. This could be ace queen, eights. This is huge hands.
I don't
Heads
see
up.
how
Just
we're
gonna
not
go
all
off.
in here. Here we
They're on
go.
their backs. 73-49. If he wins, it's over. If an ace queen come, there's a queen. 4-4, almost done. Needs an 8 or else that is going to be it. And B Binder, who timed out with those 9s, could be your champion. That's four-sider. That is going to be winner right there. A sweat, but a good game, and that is your champion. What a match today. Epic run. B Binder had to battle at no clock, took down Martin Finger, a 3-1 lead to start. Also a heads up specialist who didn't quite close it out. But hey, what can you say? Epic day, Seth. Tell me your takeaways. Who impressed you? Any standout hands or performances?
I mean, a bunch of them. That was a crazy final table. We saw some hero calls. We saw Pedro Neves with the huge call with the ace jack on Binder's bluff. Binder, showed no fear all day long. That was just really fun to watch from start to finish.
Yeah, epic day, epic stuff, epic prize pool. And of course, I said Fedor Holz next week. Seth Davies will be over in Korea soon. We're going to wish the best for him and take a little credit maybe for the Boot Magic. There's a look at the B Binder, 4.46. I mean, honestly, chalk. 1, 2, 3, believe 5, believe 6. Really nothing crazy on the odds. You can see the odds to win right down the line in order, almost except for the Austriac, who was in 7th, went out 9th. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Uncapped did get a little pay jump, and Austriac, credit to him, went for it. Went into Roman, battled into a big hand, and got himself a 9th place, but did go for it. As you see the payouts each week, that's in client on GGPoker. If you have a eligible account and you want to wager on the winners, get to see the odds, take some long shots, take a favorite. Either which way, we again appreciate Seth. Thank you so much for the time, man. Look forward to seeing you in the future, and good luck in Jeju, man. That's a big opportunity to get your year started off in a big way. Wish you the best. Thank you so much for the time today.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me.